water the cats.
Of course, she does this right literally as we go live, and I push the record button. But that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Do what you got to do, Rodance. Welcome, my friends. Welcome back to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and the host for tonight's events, Along the Frontier, an Alien RPG campaign. This is episode 31, Gold Digger. And I am the Game Mother, a title that I didn't create, but somebody did, and thought it was really cool, because Mother from Alien, obviously. With me today are, of course, my wonderful Alien players, Rodance, who had to step away to take care of her cats, Luke and Kane, who has attempted to boycott Microsoft by not taking Windows updates. I don't know how that's working out for him, but apparently it's fucked with his camera. Oh, wow, 52 seconds before I drop the bomb. That's a new record, by the way. Yeah, that's...
What, 2 seconds in and wandering off?
No, 52 seconds, and I dropped the F-bomb because I was talking about how Kane was boycotting Microsoft and their constant Windows updates, and then...
That's still longer than any of my average Tarkov matches, so it's still good.
52 seconds? Yeah, that checks out, too. But yeah, we have Rodance, Luke, and Kane. Kane is currently without a camera because he is saying, I'm tired of playing the Windows Update game, and then lost that game. So let's check in on them for a moment, see what's new and exciting for them. Meanwhile, I'll just be over here taking stock of what remains after the incident. Rodance, you're back from watering the cats. For those that don't remember, the incident had something to do with my facehuggers and trying to lease them out as emotional support animals, and apparently that didn't go very well.
Yeah, no. So the trick is I have to water the cats, otherwise they drink out of my cups instead. So I have a distraction water glass that sits about 3 feet away from where I keep my glasses, and that's what keeps my glasses of water safe.
Yeah, that makes sense, because cats are weird like that. Which is funny, though, because, so I have a fountain for my cat, but I don't know if he likes it. I don't know if he's necessarily getting a lot of water out of it. But now that I think about it, I probably have to refill it.
Well, and you also have to take it apart completely and clean them because they do grow mold on the inside.
Yes, I have discovered that because I have the filters and stuff that I have to replace basically once a month.
But they're not great filters.
The filters are basically just help to fish out some of the food chunks they drop in the water bowl.
The food chunks or the cat hair and whatnot. But so he's learned that if he sits near the kitchen sink long enough, like I have a bar ledge that goes around my kitchen sink or whatever. If he sits up there long enough at the right times, or if he sits on the kitchen counter next to the sink at the right times, we'll turn the water faucet on, and he's totally fine with that. He's also, from time to time, been found in the bathtub, looking at the little droplets of water that might come out of the faucet there, stuff like that. So, yeah, no, I know all about cats going after the water. In fact, just a little while ago, right before I started getting everything set up, my cat was licking at some of the water that I had set bowls to soak. It's just like, dude... You know what? If you're smelling it and it's fine to you, I guess it's okay. I don't recommend that. Let me turn this faucet on for you.
We have a cat here, and funny cat stuff. Ours threw up loudly at the door to signal us that she threw up in the living room.
She did it loudly.
She did it loudly this time to And then we're like, oh yeah, what's going on here? And then we went to go check on her, and she went to the living room throw up spot and was also here.
At least she told you that. I do appreciate that. If the funny thing is cats can and do actively communicate with you. It's just a matter of whether or not you're paying enough attention to catch it.
Yeah.
They just don't communicate like other animals, like dogs, for instance.
Sorry,
Rodance, I kind of steamrolled over you there. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's because cats are in general
pains of ass. Pain in the ass.
It helps if you remember that cats are solitary predators for the most part. I mean, there are instances of where they'll be all grouped together and all buddy, but they are little murder machines. And pound for pound, they're one of the more dangerous, frankly.
Yeah.
Just ask any neighborhood bird. or
Ask any
entire
cat
swaths of
owner.
ecosystem.
Ask any cat owner to show you their scars.
I don't have any from these two.
I don't know if
All
I
the
had.
scars I got from cats were from the first one.
I don't know if I necessarily have scars. I've definitely had various scabs at points.
I'm 6 years in on these two, and they have not scarred me once. I've gotten bitten once, and that was mostly because I was holding them down and trimming nails, and they really hated it that day.
Oh well, that'll do it.
Yeah. Well, they broke a toenail, so it had to happen right there. And they were not happy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want that coming in all jagged.
Yeah. Cats. So today was the second half of the vet trips. They now have their 3 years rabies and distemper, and I got 6 months worth of flea tick combination preventative medicine. I forget how expensive it is every time I go, but a vet
I
trip
saw that
just
look. I was like, ooh, what's that story?
it's like a $300 trip to get 6 months of meds and 2 shots.
Yep.
But it's the full. I don't give them the full combo meds all year round. I only do it just to when the season. I only get to do some when the season changes.
Mm-hmm.
I normally don't need in between the trips to the vet. I typically don't need to treat them at all because they don't go outside, and I don't spend much time in the yard, so I'm not bringing fleas into them. So.
Right. Yeah, we're kind of the same, more or less, here with ours.
Mhm.
You know, obviously my son goes outside and plays at the park and whatnot, but he does. But the cat, I don't let him outside. Period. Like the most I've ever done is let him out on the patio because I live on.
They live?
I live on the second
Yeah.
floor, so I have like a little porch or whatever that I can walk, you know, or
Yeah,
patio
little
that I can
balcony
take.
area.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, indoor cats live like 8 years longer, so
yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah. You got anything else?
I'm glad to see you guys again.
Same.
Or not see Kane in case of Kane.
Yeah. Invisible.
But I, as far as Windows updates go, I just let mine auto restart and install updates overnight.
No, he went to Windows 11. I think is the point.
Oh.
I didn't
my
change
laptop-
versions of Windows or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
No, I just mine's not 11 compatible, so I don't have to worry about that problem with this
Okay.
laptop.
I don't
But
even know
just
what version I have.
Probably 10.
You would know if you had 11 because the AI is especially irritating in 11.
Ah.
Yeah.
I am
it's
not
got
looking
the,
forward to our robotic overlords one day.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they would just own us, destroy the environment, and then use us as batteries and little pods growing off of trees.
So much like Matrix. Got it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got that
mean-
reference.
But remember,
is an
it
old
was
reference
us.
now.
Remember, it was us that blackened the sky.
hmm
Yes.
Oh yeah. Just so we're clear, Kane and Luke. Guess what? The trap Omar managed to avoid in my one shot through my mini adventure he was running.
Is what? You keep
Yeah,
kind of cutting
So,
together.
guess what trap he managed to avoid?
What trap?
We're playing Pathfinder. Guess what trap he managed to avoid?
What
In the
class
middle
is
of a
he?
city.
I'm
He's
a
a
rogue.
rogue of a murder hobo type.
Very murder hobo.
I probably a pitfall trap.
Nah, he didn't get taken to jail by the guards for killing a lady in the middle of a bar.
No, we didn't kill. I didn't kill anybody.
No, you were in the
Ironically.
middle chasing them.
Oh, I
your
chased
fellow
the shit
compatriot.
out of her though.
Yeah, you came back in though, and you almost failed and got taken off to jail.
Yeah. But then I
That
rolled, I
would've been
believe,
funny.
an intimidation roll in such a way as like, you know, I don't know. I forget exactly what I did because that particular
Well,
session
and
was 2
that's
weeks
one of
ago.
those things. Is sure you can kill the first patrol of guardsmen, no problem.
Oh,
The problem is that every single successive group of guards that come after you after that.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
Cyrus would have known that too. But I guarantee you, he was definitely sizing up those guards and was like, I really, really want to murder somebody, especially since I wasn't able to murder that girl. Not girl, that woman.
The woman who tried to shake him down for money,
Yeah.
they just went murder hobo on.
I just went full
She
ham.
managed to run away faster than they could get her.
After every
Okay.
attempt to do anything failed, and every time that she needed to make a save, she saved. But like every time she tried to do something, we saved or something like that. I don't know.
Is that Pathfinder 2 or?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Not that I know much about that system, except for apparently my rogue is pretty good. I don't know.
Well, I hear the balance is a lot better in 2 than 1, but I was pretty familiar with 1 at some point, so.
It's not so much that the balance is better, is that they went with a different design philosophy
Okay.
I mean, it's very much still that martial and magic based characters are on the same level. So
Mhm.
you're not having a fighter fall behind like you're guaranteed to in 5th edition. And the other part is it's a lot more customizable and modular now. It's
Hmm.
pretty solid. But yeah, I think that covers it for intro stuff for me.
Okay.
I think that leaves Kane.
Well, Luke is next. Luke,
Yeah,
who has a shade of blue because of weird lighting situation, but
Yeah.
it's counterpointed by the Canopian red. So,
Yeah.
Luke, what's new and exciting for you, my
Um,
friend?
Well, really quick recap on stuff after. So you were mentioning the vet bills. I used to have 28 rats.
Oh my god! Intentionally?
No,
Oh, okay.
no one ever have like more than 2 intentionally. The point being is they were, capable of canoodling. Um, so vet bills were just my God, I was comfortable giving like shots to rats at some point and doing light like surgery and stuff just to save money. And
I should probably not be laughing this much.
but like just like 28 rounds of like probably $200 like shots of like antibiotics a year, it gets up there.
Yeah, yeah, it does
Yeah.
really fast.
Yeah. So yeah, but luckily they only live about like a year and a half, so whatever. Um So we are looking at a property right now, which is pretty nice. We're looking out of getting the renters out of the renters kind of mindset and into like a small property.
Nice.
And we're thinking about a dog too. So it was kind
Oh.
of ironic to talk about the doggos a second ago and
Sounds
cats
like
and
things
stuff.
are getting serious with your partner.
Yeah,
Like really serious.
doggo.
Yeah, we're talking dog like property and dogs. You know what's next, right?
Yeah, if not like very yeah.
No, listen, I'm talking shit. Don't misunderstand me. Like I'm just making jokes. It's like making
Oh, I
jokes.
know.
I do wish you the best of luck with everything. I hope everything works out well.
Thank you.
You got anything else?
No, I mean that's mostly it. 28 rats and a doggo.
28
Sorry.
rats and a doggo. That sounds like a movie title. Or an album or something. I don't know. Mr. Invisible, Kane DeMale. Also known as oh wow, Luke apparently almost came out of my mouth, along with Kyle. Because one of Kyle Morgan's matches is the last thing I watched earlier today while working.
Oh, Kyle Morgan.
Yes, this was the episode where you challenged Omega Tanaga for a trial of possession for Sergei's Timberwolf.
Yep.
Yeah, what one could argue as the beginning of the downfall.
Hey, he went native.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just how things ended up.
His family disagreed.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because your sister is also a few weeks out, and I'm trying to remember how that went. But I'm gonna have to wait for that section of the episodes to come in. I don't remember it going very well for you.
I played
Well,
3
not you.
characters on that show.
Well, yeah, things did not go well for you as a player in that you had multiple characters in a 3-season show. I digress. What is new and exciting for you, Mr. Heath Pike player?
Well, did my update and it seemed to forget that most of my drivers exist and it redefaulted most of my settings. So as I continue to try to do things during the day, I find new and exciting ways that I have to redo a bunch of shit on my computer. I didn't even feel like troubleshooting why it doesn't think that the camera exists. I just don't care right now.
Listen,
I
I
spent
hear
enough
you.
time today working on it.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, there comes a point when you're just like, yeah, no, the battery is low. We need to recharge before we try to figure that one out.
Yeah.
How
And
things been for you, man?
I am the token person here who dislikes cats.
I think we've had a similar conversation in the past, as a group,
Probably.
where you were like, "Yeah, I'm not a fan of cats," but hey,
And
that's
cats
fine.
know it.
And cats know it.
They know.
That could be why whenever you're on Zoom, my cat doesn't come near me. I don't know.
My
Just
buddy
confused.
has
No,
cats.
they consider it the weakness.
My buddy has cats. He loves his cats dearly. Every time I go over, the cats recognize my dislike and they feel the need to be all up in my shit the whole time I'm there. They know.
They know. Yeah. Listen, cats are not dumb. As many things I've called my cat, they are not dumb.
No, they're definitely not.
They're actually super loving. One of my favorite things to do with this dumb animal that I have is when I pick him up, there is a noticeable difference between when he wants attention from me or is happy to be held by me, and when he's just like, okay, you're picking me up again. This is not new. Okay. Oh, good. You figured out that I don't want to be here. But yeah. But I get it.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody's into cats, and that's fine.
But yeah,
Not
that's my
terribly big into cats either, to be honest with you.
just have one.
I have one, and I enjoy him being here. I'm not about to go find more cats because I love cats that much.
I
Yeah,
have a friend with 5.
Yeah, my son just yelled from the background that he loves cats that much. So guess what's on his mind?
Yeah, well, he can solve that problem when he moves out.
Yeah, when he's 18 and has his own income and things. That'll be 7 years from today.
7 years.
Yeah, that's my trials and tribulations is Windows.
That's definitely a trial and tribulation, my friend. All right. I have nothing special to add. I have been dealing with vertigo, as I may have mentioned last week in the Warhammer 40k game. There's some moving parts going on in the Krieg Dominion. First of which, of course, is tonight. This show may end very abruptly. Apparently, there is some sort of weather thing happening roughly an hour or so north of where I am that has a wind advisory in place right now until early tomorrow morning, with wind gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. Yeah, so that may cause problems. So if we end abruptly, we're probably not going to come back. Even if I can get a hold of these guys again, I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm not done. We're done. We're just going to end it there. Sorry. Because I'm not dealing with nature. Mother Nature's scary, and it's a fight I will never win, period. Other things going on, though, is the holiday season is coming up, so shows may get sporadic based on my work schedule. And, of course, for my players and others that are directly impacted, I will be letting them know as soon as I possibly can. Viewers, apologies now, things may get a little crazy between now and the end of the year. That said, in the new year, I am looking at least one new show starting involving Battletech and the clans. I don't want to give out too much just yet, but things are in the process, as well as, of course, continuation once my schedule gets renormalized. Continuation of the Battletech Aquila Legion Megamech campaign, and, of course, Along the Frontier and Tides of Acheron. Those games will be continuing as well. But I am hoping to put out like 2 years ago, I did a State of the Dominion video, 20-something minute video of me basically bumping my gums, talking about all the things I wanted to do. I'm looking at doing another one here soon, just to kind of catch people up on what's going on, because there's a lot of ideas in my head and a lot of things I want to do. So I'm thinking about putting another video together. That'll come out later, sometime over the next several weeks once I get around to doing it. But beyond that, let's get into Along the Frontier. We've been talking for just about 20 minutes. Let's play some, I almost said video games. Let's play some role-playing games. Excuse me. Real quick, any updates skills-wise from the last session? XP being spent and things of that nature. Since we do that at the very beginning of every show.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I have to actually drag and drop something onto y'all's character sheets.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that. Let me double check to see if you added remote. to my sheet.
I
think
think
you
I did actually. That one sounds familiar. It sounds like something I did. Oops. That was going on to Wescott, right?
Yep, she has it. So that's it.
Yep. I remember doing that vaguely. Oh, you know what I did forget to do that I just realized? I need to do rights avatar. I totally forgot to do that. Bad GM. Okay, I have slapped my hand. I think I'm sufficiently disciplined. I'll just have to get around to doing it. Anybody else? Anything else?
No, I don't think Matthew Warren did anything in that game that warranted getting any skill up.
I'm trying to remember what happened. I vaguely recall Westcott basically throwing a bunch of newbies around and then getting immediately trounced by fucking Pike, as is normal.
Yeah, and I don't think because I used a command that failed absolutely horrendously because I think that uh Westcott was like, hey, you command them to do a thing for like checking their gear or something. Or no,
Oh
it
yes,
was
yes, the back and forth.
yeah.
That was an amazing callback to my own military experiences, as I'm sure was the intent by Kane.
Yeah.
Hating the new guys.
Yeah. All right. That sounds like that's everybody. So let me go through this opening of the show. The U.S. Tambatam slides through the dark void, a merciless shark gliding through the deeps. Ahead, as the ship begins to maneuver for orbital insertion, a massive desert world is surrounded by several smaller moons. In the distance, twin suns blaze indiscriminately, infinitely. No, this is not Tatooine. We even get a little placard at the bottom of the screen that, white text, all lowercase. It says System GJ1230AB. And then
Parentheses,
it says,
not Tatooine.
right. Or Dune, for that matter, since I started watching Dune Prophecy the other night. And then it says Planet Sahara. And then it says the Grandi Moon. I'm going to spell it in Foundry chat really quick, just so because it's not spelled exactly as you might think. Yeah, and that's it. So we have come out of FTL. Wescott, I need your do I play well with others today roll. As you are slowly awokened. I don't think that's the right verb tense, but you get the idea.
As I am slowly thawed out.
Yeah, that too. Unfrozen is another word to use. Not unthawed, because that means you're just going back into the icebox. That's a military word that drove me fucking nuts. Unloosened and unthawed. Like, there's words for those. You know that, right? Right up there with orientate.
There we go.
Yes.
Fine.
I love orientate.
What'd you say, Rodance?
I changed my notes to say thawed. Defrosted.
Defrosted works.
Is there a refrosted or rethawed?
I'm currently sitting at 8 stress.
You can go ahead. Well, actually, I think in your case, you need to make this roll first. Now you can clear it.
Yeah.
I believe that's how that works.
Yay! Sleeping actually cleared my stress.
Now, had you failed that roll, you would have woke up with all that stress.
Hey, do I still have a broken nose?
You can, if you've got any physical maladies from that, go ahead and remove those as well. We'll just assume that as part of your hyperspace travel, it's not hyperspace, hypersleep, the body's healing processes are somewhat accelerated.
Okay. Well,
Let's see.
I mean, we've been on ice for ages, so.
Well, by ages,
gotta put
it's
ice
like
on a
several
broken nose.
days, so. Yes, I understand where you're going with that.
So, I wake up all bright and perky, and I rouse my new boots out of their bunks and hurry them along. I don't know why we're awake, but we're probably going to be.
Well, if you've just been woken up, like, there's no, like, you're not being woken up and be like, alert, come to blah, 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 blah. It's just you've been awake
but they
as
don't have that experience yet, and I am showing them the way after Pike beat it into us a couple times.
Yeah. So, at this point, though, you do have the first couple of hours. Let's just assume it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. You've got a couple hours if you want to get into anything with yourselves, your new guys, whatever. But otherwise, there is a notice that Colonel Arnold is giving a briefing at 10 o'clock in the.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1000 hours in the briefing room.
Yeah, Warren is unfortunately caught up in the I'm running the new boots around. Like we're rolling out quick drill.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Warren, but you're caught up with the newbies. Pike can do whatever he so chooses. I'm assuming he does his hydrate pack.
Oh, don't worry.
We're-
Staff Sergeant isn't seeking your permission.
What a response! That was amazing. Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's very much a Pike response right there.
Yep.
Don't mind the fact that I just changed the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to see which map I want to use. But yeah, like I said, it's up to you guys. Whatever you want to get into, get after. Otherwise, we can go straight to the mission briefings if you want.
Does Staff Sergeant Pike have anything he particularly wishes to run the new boots around in doing, or is me just getting the hurry up and get your shit together drill out of the way good enough?
Yeah, he's happy with you doing that. Looks like he's got his mind on something else for the morning.
Mm.
He does say that your boots are wrong if they are not in the briefing room at 9:30.
Wow, 30 minutes early. Calm down, Sergeant Major. We don't need to be there 30 minutes fucking early. God damn.
See, he's setting these up, right? Like he's setting things up so that Wescott is so Wescott throwing these two big people around was to establish credibility, but also Wescott is supposed to be the reasonable one.
That's fair.
Pike is putting himself out to be the angry parent.
Yeah, no, I got you.
He's trying to establish loyalty for her and her men.
Yeah, by being the bad guy. Good cop, bad cop. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, it comes natural to Pike anyways.
Yes, it does.
Cool. So once they successfully complete the get the fuck out of bed and get your shit together drill, then I let them put their stuff away and then we go eat breakfast.
Yeah, it's the usual breakfast too. It's some really.
Or excuse me, I believe the order is PT and then breakfast. But
I mean, you do have 2 whole hours. You got to figure out how to get all that time in there. It's 8:30 now. I'll do that. I'll just start marking time upwards as we go.
Yeah, then they will go get they've had their hour worth of running around drill, and now that we get to go eat breakfast.
It's 9:30 now.
We're finishing eating breakfast and we're going to the briefing.
Warren stuffs an extra hash brown.
Well, okay, so I think I've had this conversation with this group before. McDonald's hash browns. Is this something I've talked about with you guys? I feel like it is. Okay.
Yes.
So what you get, there's only 2 different types of McDonald's hash browns. And yes, I know, officially there's only one. You get the super flimsy, greasy one, or you get the hard as a rock, it's been baked too long in the dry heat lamps. There's no in between.
Having worked at McDonald's, I know
you know exactly. You get the greasy, limpy one, or you get the brick. There's no in between.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, about the brick is it tends to crumble into basically becoming a pile of crumbs. I mean, you could easily crush it, and by the time Warren gets,
and it's so greasy.
Yeah, it's a greasy pile of crumbs. So by the time Warren's like, "Ooh, I'm feeling slightly peckish. Let me eat this." Oh, it's a greasy pile of crumbs in my pocket now. Bad fat boy noises.
Bro, give me some of your tots.
Definitely not. I was not thinking that, but it makes perfect sense. All right, yeah, we'll just go ahead and move straight to the briefing.
Well,
then.
When he wakes up, he leaves the group to do their thing.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna go catch an extra nap in his office.
No, he's gonna go for a light jog. Down the length of the ship and back so he can run through the hangar section.
Okay.
And see if LT is there.
She is. She is in her she's doing what looks like some preliminary... No. She looks like she's just doing some preliminary inspections of the dropship. Something more like, You just spent several days in FTL. Chances are not much has happened to your dropship Saturday the 14th. But she's got to give it a good once over before she goes to the briefing, and then she'll come back and actually start doing the mission prep loadout based on what that mission briefing is, and that's what she's doing right now. She's just going through some sort of mental checklist, checking this, checking that, making sure all the switches are in the right place, that the little pull cords are there for the rockets and stuff like that. I'm not sure if this particular model even has a rocket launcher, but you get the idea. And she sees you. She nods. Are you approaching her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Morning, LT.
Staff Sergeant, what brings you down here so soon?
Not the
Yeah,
the kit that we've got now is a little bit different after the replacements. I wanted to step on board real quick if it's just to make sure that I've got everything set up for our load plan. Make sure it's not going to interfere too much. Do you have a minute, LT?
Sure. And she does one of those things where it's like, clearly she was doing some sort of like busy work, sort of, and she closes some bin, and she's, yeah, let's just step over here in the flight deck. By the way, I could have sworn I wrote a segment just for this, and I cannot find it to save my life. So I'm trying to find it. If you bear with me just for a moment.
Sure. I think I can manage that.
I really thought I had something in here. I can almost picture the words. Like, I can picture the scene I was writing. And I'm really disappointed that I don't know what I did with it. So, oh, here it is, I think. Yes, I got it. Okay. I found it. I hid it like a dumbass. And by hiding it, I mean I put it in a different part of the... Okay. Yeah, so she not guides you, she points to the flight deck, which it would be basically somewhere between a cockpit and a proper bridge. So it's basically 2 seats with a elevated platform directly behind it with like a third seat for like communications and shit like that. And she closes the door separating the flight deck from the rest of the dropship. She says, what can I do for you?
I have an update about the mysterious stranger.
This that dude with the badge that was like a QR code or something?
The weird digital pattern thing?
Yeah, that guy.
That one, yeah.
I think we were just calling him Badge Guy, but I'm sorry.
You.
But I talked to him again.
Okay. What did he say?
Well, for the simple stuff, I think he's suggesting that General Vaughn's not playing for the same team, which is quite the accusation.
Yeah, it is. That's a pretty bold assumption to make.
Well, he thinks for a second. Do you mean claim? Both
Sure.
claim? Yeah, wait. Anyways, that doesn't matter. I've been reading a dictionary.
I'm sorry. That's not her. Well, she probably would have chuckled when you said that. I've been reading a dictionary. I'm smart now.
Oh, he didn't say he's smart now.
No, I'm smarter now. Yeah, she's just like, there's a look. Like, she raises her eyebrows for a second or two, and then she's like, okay, all right. Continue, Mr. Thesaurus. And she smirks at you. I'm laughing way too hard for what she's doing. I'm sorry.
I haven't gotten to the T's yet. Anyways, so I mean, I know last time I was trying to decide whether or not that's a dude who should be reported. or if this is a legitimate thing that this guy's been talking about.
I mean, if he's saying things like General Vaughn's not on the same team as the rest of us, then maybe he should be reported. I feel
You
like you're about
know,
to drop the other shoe right now.
yeah. You know, when
She
somebody
leans
does something,
back against a chair and does like the folds her arms, kind of leaning her head down towards you a little bit, as she's like, "All right, hit me with it." But she doesn't say that. She's giving that posture.
Right.
so you know when somebody does something just ludicrous enough that it can't be fake, or the likelihood is just so small, it's just too bold to be anything other than what it is. He
I
told
can't think of anything in particular, but I suppose that is a thing. Go ahead.
I told him that if he wanted to have more conversations and if he wanted me to take him seriously instead of as a security threat, he needed to tell me either who he worked for, and if he wasn't willing to do that, he needed to tell whoever it was he worked for that I'm I'm not a traitor,
Okay.
and I'm not going to entertain treason. So if his boss is real, then to pass the message along that they need to prove something to me or he's getting reported.
Okay. What did he do?
uh, he told me he works for SecDef.
What?
Yeah,
That
which is an
that's
absurd enough thing.
ludicrous in and of itself.
It's so insane that it'd be
That's like
absolute
20 levels
suicide.
above us. You know that, right?
Well, it's like
Okay, it's
2 levels
10,
above
but
us.
sure. Well, I mean, like, you had, like, there's, well, we have
There's
Colonel
one.
Arnold, our battalion landing team commander, and then there's, like,
Oh, I
a
mean,
few layers
between,
above
yeah,
him,
okay.
and then we get into, like, Department of whatever the USCMC reports to, and then the Department of Defense. You know what I mean? Like, there's a few levels between here and the Secretary of fucking Defense, Heath.
You know, okay. I'm not gonna argue with that. I was thinking something different. But anyways, it is such a crazy claim that it would be absolute. There's no way that a spy who's trying to convert me would throw something so ludicrous that somebody with my mental profile would probably just kill him on the spot. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're a knife. You're not. Hold on. Let me think about what she would say here. You're a knife. You're meant to be rapidly and repeatedly inserted into somebody to kill them. You're not. You're not a thinker. And the fact that this guy is talking to you, allegedly working. There's another angle here somewhere. I'm not seeing it. I'm not.
He's
Why
got
is he
access.
talking to you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're the tip of the spear. Why is this guy from on high coming down to talk to you?
I actually have an idea about that
Okay? What's your idea?
because I'm the one who makes the decisions on the ground during the mission.
That would almost imply that the missions themselves are bad or need
Or
a
he
different hands-on approach than what has been given.
and if he's not absolutely totally unhinged, and if he does actually work for SecDef, he wants to influence me to change the outcome of these missions.
To what, fail?
I don't know. At the
She
very least, the only thing I could think of is these us acquiring this information for the general seems to be part of the general strategy. I mean, she said as much to us. That's the only thing I could think of that an outside party would want to change is whatever it is that this is supposed to be a part of.
so you think that he's trying to do you think he's actively working against what General Vaughn is trying to accomplish?
I think he wants me to.
Which would mean that that's his intent. Is that his intent is to defeat whatever she is attempting to accomplish. You don't put
Yeah,
somebody into motion and say you should do this without having your own intentions being obvious. You know what I mean? Like you control the pawns, we know what the objective is. But if you move the pawns and somebody else is telling the pawns to do something, that's in direct contradiction to what the pawns are supposed to be doing. I'm not sure why we made chess references all of a sudden, but
I don't know. I haven't figured out the rules for chess yet.
it's immaterial. The point is, oh shit, hold on. Hang on, my speakers are being wonky. Can I hear you guys?
I don't know. Can you hear us?
Yes, yes. I
Okay.
picked my speaker cable and it's super sensitive, so all of a sudden I got a notice. It was like, we're now using your microphone as a speaker. I'm like, no, you're not, because it's not set to do that. Which means I need to play with the cable. Anyway, sorry. I already forgot what I just said too. So
Right. I there's a lot about what the purpose is of these tasks that we're doing that I don't have a clue. And I don't know how it all fits into General Vaughn's plans.
maybe we should
I
sit down
also
and look at what our mission objectives were and see if we can connect the dots in figuring out what General Vaughn was trying to do, and then decide if what General Vaughn was trying to do was a good thing or a bad thing. But that's
it I understand that there's a whole strategery thing that comes in with looking at all the pieces and trying to put a big picture together. But the view from the ground is real simple.
but that's my
It
point.
is
You have the view from the ground. It's simply go, do, kill, and don't die.
no, it's not.
Well,
It's
that's always been
acquisition.
my view. Although, ironically, I'm not actually on the ground, but you get my point.
I just like for me personally, my goal is to get in with my team, kill everyone, take their shit, and bring all my people home. But
Right.
the mission
Yes.
briefs have been to get stuff,
Okay.
get knowledge, get these weird science things. They wanted, I mean, we took that weird satellite that drives people crazy to murder each other. They
Yes, and then we
that's
destroyed it or something.
I didn't
don't
destroy
remember.
it.
I don't remember. I don't think I shot rockets at it, but it was definitely in a bad place by the time you left.
Yeah,
You
my
definitely
orders were
walked out of there with some hard drives and shit.
my orders were specifically to try to make it as salvageable as possible at the end.
Yeah.
They wanted samples. They wanted experiments. We went and took bioweapons programs from UPP, and some of them said it wasn't UPP, and all kinds of stuff. And well, I certainly am not going to take the word of a man that I beat to death, um, but I don't know. I mean, the claim is so crazy. I have to consider.
All
I
right.
don't
So
want to
let's
be.
assume he is working Secretary of Defense, and let's
Then
assume the general is not. Based on what you do know, what is the general's endgame?
I think whether or not General Vaughn is doing her own thing or not, I have no doubt that General Vaughn is doing what General Vaughn thinks needs to happen for the UA.
That doesn't
I
necessarily exonerate her of what she's doing. Listen,
or
doing something
us.
because you think it's the right plan doesn't make it a good plan or for the good.
I get that. I'm just saying, like, if we're acquiring all this weapon stuff, I mean, if it was the original goal of bringing evidence to prove that the UPP are committing war crimes to so that we can go finish the UPP and be done with this crap, we already provided that. But we keep getting more.
And we've also gotten contradictory reports that the UPP is accusing us of doing some of the same things we're accusing the UPP of.
Right, and I'm
I
sure
haven't read all of your back briefs, but I mean, that is on the table, is it not?
sure. I mean, try to figure out what the UPP says is true or not is that strategic stuff I don't know. But on the ground, we got the evidence that General Vaughn needed to deal with the UPP and sent us to get more. And as far as I've seen in reports, and we're not in a sterilized environment, there's been no declaration of war on the UPP. There's been no, intergalactic tribunal shit or any of that. No accusations levied against them with the evidence that we gained. I don't know where it's going, but it's not going to that.
I think General Vaughn's holding on to it. Maybe
I
she
don't-
hasn't developed enough evidence to present a claim to push her angle of invading the leveling charges of war crimes.
As the guy on the ground who's looked at the evidence, it's pretty certain to me that those weapons programs are.
And neither of us are international lawyers either. There may be a whole nother mountain that needs to be added to this pile before there is what they would say just cause or sufficient proof, I suppose. Is that a possibility? That we just have to find more or better?
I don't know. The dog war started over less.
Okay, that's a fair point. I personally, Omar, does not remember exactly the dog war. I remember reading something about it, but I'm like, no, actually, that checks out. We have definitely gone to war for a lot less.
And this is some pretty heinous shit.
Yeah, I
Like-
watched a dude's. I'm trying to remember. I want to say in one of the very first missions, like, didn't somebody spit out a face hugger or an alien or some shit in the back of her dropship as we were leaving the planet? Or am I just misremembering something?
I dragged bodies into the back of her dropship.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's seeing alien corpses that you turned into backpacks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
she's
I
like,
don't-
yeah, there's definitely been some shit.
Look, I like I told that guy, I'm no traitor. If he's right and the math doesn't add up, I don't want to wake up tomorrow and find out that I already was.
Well, nobody wants to be on the losing side.
I don't care about losing.
You want
I
to be on the
don't
right
want to be a
side.
traitor.
Right. Okay. So, what is your plan moving forward?
Look, I've got two stones and I'm rubbing them together in my head really hard. I know
Yes,
that
I know that look on your face. I've seen it many times.
I know. I mean, we're awake. We've got a briefing in like 45 minutes,
Yes.
which means they're going to send us on another mission. So I don't have time to change the outcome right now. I at least up until I get my men out of this mission, I need to focus on bringing them home. But I don't.
Well, then let's maybe after this mission, we can. I mean, the pattern has been fairly reliable. We do a mission, we get some downtime. We do a mission, we get some downtime. Maybe we need to sit down and some dry erase boards or something, and we figure this out.
I'm going to have Wescott
That's your
steal some
sergeant,
shit.
right?
Yeah. I'm going to have Wescott steal some shit. I'll put it in my pocket. So when we're on the drop down and we're off the Tampa Tam, I can give you some stuff to look at so you can see what I've seen.
Okay.
And you can tell me if I'm totally off base or if this smells the same to you as it does to me.
Okay. I'm going to change tracks right now because there was something I wanted to talk to you about. I didn't get a chance since our last downtime, which I think is something like, in your guys' memories, it would be like yesterday morning, but it's really been several days because you were FTL.
Yeah.
And she says,
welcome to change the topic, and he'll like lean against a wall.
yeah. She says, I realize I may have been a bit cold shouldery when you said what you said back in the hotel room. I must apologize. I didn't think that that kind of conversation was something that would come up between us. I've enjoyed this thing that we've been doing, but I hadn't really given it much more long-term permanent thought. So if my lack of emotional response perhaps is one way to phrase it, if my lack thereof took you by surprise, I apologize. I have given it some thought, and if you are willing, and there's no pressure for you to answer me right now, but if you are willing, the option of moving forward is something I would like to explore with you. I saw that, Rodans. And she's giving you the salesman, shut your fucking mouth close until waiting for you to answer.
He says, "Yeah, I I brought it up because I already decided what I want. I just didn't want you to feel like I was trying to push you into it."
It took me by surprise. It was not something I'd really fully consciously considered. And now that
If
I
you,
have,
I mean, I have to say I'm a little surprised myself with myself. If you told me a year ago that I'd be having this conversation right now, I would have reached out and bitch slapped you.
well, you also didn't have a hot, sexy lieutenant looking at you the way well, you know.
Yeah.
And it's at that moment that she gets like this flicker in her eye, kind of like she just saw something out of the corner of her eye. And directly in front of Saturday the 14th, standing there, completely deadpan face, with a clipboard under one arm, is Colonel Arnold. And he is absolutely looking directly at the two of you in what appears to be a unprofessional conversation because of the nature in which you two are presently standing and otherwise
Okay.
situated. Of course, he doesn't hear anything, and who knows if he can read lips. And he stands there for a brief moment or two, locking eyes with both of you. You know, one for a moment or two, and then going to the other one. And then he visibly can be seen taking a deep breath, extending his arm out, and doing one of the, oh, look at the time, and walks off. As if to say, you know, briefing in so many minutes.
Yeah.
And doesn't say anything, of course, because, you know, it's not about to try to yell through the glass that he knows sound won't penetrate. But there is I mean, this guy doesn't really have much visual expression or visually emotional expression, but there is something of a downturn in the corners of his lips that might have been a frown in anybody else. A disappointed frown. You know, I'm not angry, just disappointed. Because I really love using that line. I don't know why. Eckhart is a bit taken aback that he was there, and she actually starts to blush a little bit. This She obviously is under the impression that he knows what you two have just been talking about, and she now is like suddenly super self-conscious, and she's like, I should probably go check the oil or something.
Hey, he just he starts chuckling and says, "Well, good timing's good cover." And as he goes to like leave her there with her thoughts, he'll give her an attaboy on the way out.
Yeah. So, what is this briefing about? Uh, you have all settled into the briefing room, and exactly on time, And then we're talking, it's like 9:58, or excuse me, 9:59 in like 45 seconds. And here comes Colonel Arnold walking in with his, we might as well trademark his goddamn clipboard at this point. Get a hold of legal and start punching out some merchandise or something. But he shows up with his clipboard, which has a legal pad attached to it. And as he takes his place at the podium, the holo projector switches over to, which one is it? This one. An image that looks like this. Just verify for me that you guys can see the map here.
I can see it.
I see Mori Mori.
Mori? I don't get it. You see the surface installation, though, yes? Dormitories
Yes.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff? Okay, good. All right. Oh, yeah, Mori. I see it now. And once it comes up and it fully flickers in resolution-wise and whatnot, he flips the first couple pages of his legal pad over. He says, all right, Marines, Mother received an SOS, and the brass sent us out since we were the most ready to act at the time, 6 days ago. Weiyu leases a sulfate metal mine called Sonderdach. It belongs to the independent colony of the Grande Domes, in this, the GJ 1230 AB system. There's been an industrial accident here. Mother doesn't have all the details, but it looks like a work gang setting a second shaft broke through to a gas pocket and caused some kind of collapse. Dozens of miners are unaccounted for and believed trapped below. 2 Marine squads were on site during the incident and have not been heard from since. There's a good chance that they are trapped as well. The Hospital Corps frigate Hela will rendezvous with us over the moon. I'm sending you down to join the relief effort on Grande, while the Tambatam and the rest of our forces aboard move to the front to handle other concerns there. You won't be alone, however, as the Hela will be your home for the duration. Weiyu has sent a rescue coordinator who will be arriving aboard the Hela at Mr. Ishigara. Work with him and his people. Get in there, get everyone out, including our boys and girls. Help them stabilize the mine. If it's a gas pocket, seal it off. If they need your help reinforcing the structural supports, do it. Save lives and neutralize the threat, whatever it takes. And then, so he then takes a moment to briefly go over. This is the surface level of the installation. I'll give you guys a moment to look it over. There's another map I want to show you. So let me know when everybody is more or less ready to go to that one.
That's one hell of a pit.
Yes, it is. The second map is
What
this.
is
Oops, sorry.
what is Mori Mori?
I honestly would have to look it up. And I don't have all of my notes for this mission loaded yet because I had intended that we would only get so far, or anticipated only getting so far. I think Mori. Let me open up the book and see what Mori says in there. Give me a moment. Close that. Fix that. Okay. Scroll. Oh, what? Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see. It's a restaurant and bar.
Oh, okay.
Neat.
All right.
And then, of course, this holographic display showing a generalized layout of the mine itself with the various levels. And then the secondary shaft that you can see towards the bottom left of that imagery where the collapse apparently has taken place. If you look at both maps, unfortunately I don't have an image that would show them side by side. You should be able to basically tell where things line up. For instance, the mine head up here should line up with the mine head as it was shown on the previous map. Same thing with the refinery. You will have your APC as well as your Saturday the 14th. Unfortunately, the Saturday the 14th will be getting tasked with providing transportation between the ground and the Hela and orbit above. So the the dropship won't always be readily available. Your APC, which is recommended that you bring with you, will be able to fit into the mines. It will, however, have to be stuck with. There's various points where things may get. What's the word I'm looking for here? Difficult to bypass. But you should, at least in theory, based on this imagery, it looks like you should be able to drive the APC all the way down to level 6, and then probably have to take the secondary shaft, probably an elevator or something of that nature to get down there. But of course, that depends on the nature of damages and other obstacles and obstructions. But based on this imagery, theoretically, because you can see on the left side the corkscrew effect indicates that that's like ramp that just continuously goes down with a bypass to go to each level, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
If you want, I could flip back to the other map. But for all intents and purposes, this is probably where most of the quote-unquote action will be taking place, is inside the mine. Generically speaking, because I know I have written the notes into into Foundry, but basically at the surface, the air is non-breathable, as in I believe there may not actually even be atmosphere at the surface. But as you go into the mines, there is atmosphere being pumped and pushed down. So eventually, at least by level 2, if not a little bit higher, you should be able to breathe without ventilators and all that stuff. But you will be in your compression suits. Colonel Arnold, at this point, will take a few questions if you have any. And again, I can go back to the other image if you want me to.
Just clarifying that our objectives are to arrive on site and save as many lives as possible, and including not just our 2 squads we lost contact with, but any civilians that we can help.
Losing this mine or allowing a situation in which the mine becomes ineffective would be a bad thing. Do whatever you can to support the locals in resuming normal operations, provide medical assistance for those that need it, security for those that need it, get our people out of there that don't need to be there, and obviously make contact with find out what happened with the Marines. To summarize his specific words in the briefing, see, work with Mr. Ishigara, the rescue coordinator. Work with him and his people. Get in there, get everyone out, including our boys and girls. Help them stabilize the mine. Seal off the gas pocket if that's the problem, or help reinforce the structural supports if that is what it is. Save lives and neutralize the threat, whatever it takes. Those are his specific words from the dialogue. It's kind of a nebulous objective, to be totally honest, but basically, save lives and try to restabilize the mine. Otherwise, get everybody out of there.
Save lives, save the mine, do our best.
Yeah, and obviously, worst case, get everybody out if that's what you got to do. Like if the mine is in some sort of threat to collapsing altogether.
Can we get oh my god, my brain is farting. I'm trying to find a word. Can we get the dossiers on the 2 squads so we can try to account for all of them?
I do not have this information right now. Presumably, if I can get that information, I will make sure it's available to you prior to your departure. And Also, out of character, I don't have it loaded. I don't recall if there is anything about those squads, other than maybe a couple of notes for the GM. But if there is information, I'll get it to you next session.
And those two squads being at a mine shaft, were they there for a garrison? Is there some sort of local thing they needed Marines for protection?
That one I need to look up an answer. Give me a second.
Yeah. Why were there two squads of Marines at a mine?
Yeah. I think what you see is Colonel Arnold flipping through a couple of pages of his legal pad, and he does not have a good answer as to what the specific mission set for those Marines was. And he defaults to I will see if that information is available to me, and if it is, I will relay it to you. And to be clear, when he says, let me see if that information is available, it's not a bullshit answer, and you would know this. It's a matter of compartmentalization as far as who's got access to what information, as to what different units are doing, and of course whether or not Mother can literally connect to that particular data server or what have you.
So if those two squads have orders, are we to ignore their objectives, or are we to assist them?
Your objectives are the priority for your team. If there is a way that everybody can play happy together, cool. I don't know if Arnold would actually use those particular words, so imagine he said something that's slightly creepy.
Right.
I really did not intend for Arnold to be like this, but if you remember Roe, I feel like there's a certain overlap between these two characters.
Understood. If we can help them with the mission, then we should, but if it gets in the way of us doing our own business, they're on their own.
Correct.
Understood, sir.
At the end of the day, your mission has the priority for your team. Their mission probably will have its own priority if it's not something other than a generic security presence sort of thing. At the end of the day, you have your objectives, they have theirs. If they overlap, they overlap. If they don't, they don't. Any other questions?
What were they mining?
They were mining. Let's see if I actually have that. I'm pretty sure I have this. This facility is, and I'm going to read through some of the description information I have. So the Sonderdach mine is located on an airless, low-gravity moon named Grandy. Inside the mine, it is about 10 degrees below centigrade, so below freezing. Surface temperatures here actually drop to a minus 120. Significantly, Jesus Christ, much colder. There is the Grande Dome's Freeport, which is about 35 kilometers away on a stable rock bed. The mine itself is what is considered in the mining industry a hard rock mine. This installation extracts zinc and lead from below the moon's surface. Other mines of this type might pull out gold, silver, tin, nickel, copper, or even diamonds. The ancient sulfide deposits on this planet are mined and refined, and the finished zinc and lead pellets are then shipped back from the domes to hungry factories in the Crestus and Mycor sectors. Overall, the Sonderdach mine facility had some 250 men and women, mostly roughnecks, but some techs, service crews, and managers. A lot of the miners live on site. The precious ore sits in a column. On this particular image, you see where it says ore body. Just think of that like literally like just that's the chunk of shit that they were mining. That's the vein, as it were. And let's see, the precious ore sits in a column and was initially mined using open cast methods. I don't know what that means. You might want to reference or Google that term.
Open cask?
Open cast. With
Cast?
a T.
I'm pretty sure that's just a form of pit mining.
Probably. Like, I don't know the mining terms very well either. It was something I meant to look up and never really did.
So if I
Go ahead.
neither zinc nor lead are exceptionally volatile, so that means we could probably use flame or explosive weapons. The lack of atmo is probably what we would
Yeah.
tank the
Well,
use
there's
of like a flamethrower.
right. And there's
There's
also
ammo in there.
there's also the concern that there may have been a gas pocket, which might have been part of the problem, as insofar as the collapse. So, we'll talk about the gear in a moment because there is a recommendation, not a requirement, as I remember from when I typed it up. The lower reaches are mined from a 600-meter shaft dug next to the ore body, which you can see here in the map. Underground roadways or sublevels stretch out along one side of the ore mass, and then from these tunnels have been dug, and from these access tunnels, they've been dug to meet the ore face. Levels 1 through 4 are already pretty well tapped out. Levels 5 and 6 are in main production, for lack of a better way to phrase it. So, like, all the stuff where it's like mined out, mined out, mined out. And then sublevel 5 and 6 is where like the heavy activity is. And then you have the exploration sublevel. That is let me see. Case blah 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 blah. I didn't actually talk too much more about that. But yeah, you can see like the secondary shaft is where the problems arose as they were looking to get, further into the ore body. There are, let me see, the main shaft runs 2 steel cables side by side, but separated by an iron safety grill. One cable hauls miners and their equipment up and down in what they call the cage. The other hauls a heavy steel skip bin, which brings ore up from the ore bin at the base of the shaft. So you see the ore bin down here. It then proceeds up this thin line up to the top, and then I imagine from there, that descending roadway, it sends it up to the refinery. And obviously we have a ventilation shaft there as well. The descending roadway is used to drive cutting machines and loaders in and out of the mine, as well as transport heavy equipment such as generators, pumps, hydraulic props, metal sheeting, and other items that are too big to fit inside the cage. Artificial atmosphere, sublevels 5 and 6 are cold, minus 10 degrees Celsius, but they do have an artificial atmosphere with breathable, though stale air, a combination of air scrubbers, ventilation blowers, plastic strip curtains, and forced air returns at entrances for sublevels 5 and 6, keeps most of the air from leaking out to the surface. These curtains can be pushed through easily by vehicles and personnel, preventing lengthy wait times between shipments in and out. While basically this whole process is like, it's meant to be this cheap, stupid, easy, quick thing, as opposed to using like airlocks. So it's wasteful, it's not the most efficient, but it keeps enough air in there to be workable, while also preventing backlog, because people are sitting there waiting on one side of an airlock, along with ore and whatever the hell else. The air begins to thin out on sublevel 4 and is unbreathable above that. All the miners wear the Mark 50 compression suits, although a lot of them go without the helmets while they're actually working. I imagine it gets pretty toasty inside those helmets when you're swinging a pickaxe or whatever it is they do.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay. In character or out of character, Rodance, Luke?
Are there tools to detect the gas leak that we think it might be there?
You don't have a Seaburn guy anymore, do you? That was Winston. No, Winston was the medic. Who's the Seaburn?
Watts.
Well, that's it. That's the one.
Wow.
So
I was thinking to myself, I was like, no, hold on. They did lose the Seaburn, I think.
We're having this like industrial accident in a hazardous work site, and we lost the medic and the Seaburn.
the two guys that definitely would have been helpful here.
Yeah.
And instead we got a smart gunner and I don't remember what.
You got a Diaz and you got a
Diaz.
I'm thinking Diaz from, I think that was her name. The girl.
Vasquez
And Drake. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then whatever right is, that I don't remember off the top of my head. What is right?
Breacher.
Breacher.
So
Yeah.
we got a breacher and a smart gunner instead of a seaver and a
The irony is that you guys could have used those guys specifically in the earlier missions, and now you don't really need them. I'm telling you, this was not planned this way. Every time we had a downtime, you guys would roll dice, and I would tell you why you were rolling the dice, because I was going to take the average of those numbers and then compare it to a list of the remaining missions, and that would determine what
yeah.
mission was next.
Oh, I do have one more question.
Yes. Is this Pike or is this Kane? Yes.
This is Pike.
Okay.
Pike, like he's in the briefing room, and Pike is going to turn to Wescott and say, "How much do you anticipate depth is going to mess with our comms?"
It's a good question. I will tell you out of character.
We probably won't have surface comms unless we tie into whatever system they have down there. Because 800 meters of solid rock is enough to blank basically anything.
Yeah.
Full of zinc, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was it, lead? Or
lead and zinc is what they pull out of here.
Yeah, we won't have it. Once we're in there, you probably hit after we hit first sub-level, we will have no comms.
You might surface. Yeah, I think you'd have to be wired between the individual levels just to talk to each other. Otherwise, straight radio communication, Wi-Fi type, that's not going to happen. Surface.
No, I mean, if we bring little substations and tie into their system and drop a base station at every level as we go down, maybe. But unless we do that, no.
Okay.
We can probably, on the same level and the same hallways within a set number of feet, yeah, we would. But beyond that, no.
I'm sorry. My son just sneezed and coughed at the same time, and then I heard him, what the hell was that? I was like,
that's called sinus pain. That's what that is.
Yeah, hold on, let me check it out really quick.
Yeah, so I did pick up the remote skill, which lets me remote control things now with a +2 mod.
I'm gonna step away just for a quick second.
That is, it's a very versatile talent.
It is. I just don't have any of the.
I'm gonna step away.
I was about to start asking to see if we could get any of the Seaburn tools or like the pups, because I can now pilot the pups at a much better chance. Much better. I now am officially trained on how to utilize pups, and I can now remote pilot a dropship, evac fighter, or APC if I have a portable uplink terminal.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
It's cool. Too bad you don't have ranks in piloting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
It does also let you remote control sentry turrets.
Yeah, it lets me use Comtech to pilot remote vehicles and pups. So I don't actually, per the wording of the talent, need piloting.
That's cool.
Yeah. Lets me do it with Comtech instead.
All right, Arnold gives you a final. Any other questions? And he looks like he's getting ready to wrap this briefing. So go ahead.
Would he be the one to talk to about equipment, or should we take that to Mother?
Arnold looks at you and says, "Please take that to Mother. I have a few things to go check on." And when he says that, he's looking directly at Eckhart, who, by the way, was in this briefing this whole time for obvious reasons.
I have no clue what's going on, but in the back of my head, I hear gossip.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, need to get some tea. Is Luke still with us, or did his camera
stepped
shit
away
off?
for a second?
Okay. In that case, I'll wait for him to come back.
Here's something I think is funny, right? Like the fluff for the AWs and the books that they wrote about them in their junior years and their training years and stuff. Like the fraternization rules did not exist in the AW schools. They're one of their main villain AW characters. He has this whole weird complex where he ends up boning his marksman instructor, and then as like way later, because she was much older than him, she's dead, she died, and he's like 60 years old or something. In his death scene, he's just like, "I hope you're proud of me. You're the only one I actually gave a shit about." Like
I'm back.
Okay.
So,
I'll go back.
so it's
Yeah.
what makes this extra funny. It's like Pike is like, right, those rules exist elsewhere. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize you had stepped away, Luke. So, in short, what happened was the Arnold asked the final, is there any questions? And then Westcott was like, "Do we talk to you or do we talk to Mother about getting supplies? Gear, requesting gear and stuff like that." And Arnold said, "Take that to Mother. I have other things I need to check out." But then when he said, "I have other things to check out," he was looking directly at Lieutenant Eckhart. Yeah. Meaning, of course, because he had seen the two of Eckhart and Pike conversing earlier, that he was going to go have a conversation with his junior officer, who,
Mm.
in his mind, possibly may have seen what looked like something that was not professional.
Hey, you know what? If he thinks that the stuff going on in that dropship were just unprofessional, we win.
If that conversation's all he knows about, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, Pike hinted as much on his way out so that she had less to freak out about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Okay.
his attempt at being comforting.
All right, let's talk gear. Excuse me. I imagine that somewhere on the ship there is something close to a quartermaster's, uh, or a gear issuing spot.
Mhm.
That there's like it's fucking Wong, Corporal Wong
Mm-hmm.
has a desk with like the chicken wire glass barrier, right, with like a slot that's big enough to get a lot of things through, but not everything. And of course, a locked door for the bigger things. And so he sits there, and of course, you would take your request to him. He takes it to Mother, and then I feel like that's probably, and we never really established that before. Of course, you actually had conversations with Mother directly, even though that's not quite how that really works in the universe. But whatever. In short, as you approach Corporal Wong, you have a data slate. This isn't Warhammer. A tablet that has the map for the mines, both that overhead look and the one we're looking at right now. You have both images loaded on there. There is some information about personnel, but there's not a lot of like detail. And I will summarize it with basically it's a list of names and who's who, who's who and who's what, but it has almost nothing else for some reason.
But
Some of that,
we have like a list of names of the Marines who they lost contact with.
no, you do. It is noted that there was 2 squads. It doesn't even necessarily indicate how many, like specifically, 6 Marines or 12 Marines. It just says 2 squads of Marines. It
And
doesn't
nothing
actually
else at all.
correct. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, because I know there's more information to it than that, but I don't want to give it away. And 2, I haven't prepped all of this. Again, I have not prepped all of this mission yet. So, because I was anticipating that we would only get so far. You'll also be given the Mark 35 compression suits. I believe you guys still have those in your inventories. Although
Yes.
the 2 newer guys might need some.
Not the newbies, yeah.
Characters, right? And Wozniacki. Oh no, that's not how to say their name. That's not.
Winning every time.
All I got to say is Archipelago.
Winning some of the time, every time.
66% of the time, it's 100% effective. Okay. Let's see. Inventory. Pressure suit. All right. Wozniacki has it. Oops. Wright has it. Ooh, Wright is already encumbered. Holy shit. Let's see.
Wright does have a rocket launcher on her.
Okay, maybe You have the Mark 35s, your standard weapons and equipment, as well as 2 Space Sub ASSO 400s. I don't know exactly what those are. I gotta look it up.
Isn't that the grapple gun?
Hang on, let me see.
I think that's the grapple gun.
ASSO 400, yeah, harpoon
Yep.
grappling gun.
So you get 2 of those. Who's gonna take those?
I'll take.
I already have one.
Okay, Pike gets one. Let me see if I can. I doubt. Well, Pike apparently doesn't have anything equipped right now.
Well, that's because he was just walking around the ship.
Yeah. Right. So,
And we give the other one to Wescott. So the ranking people have harpoon guns.
okay.
Yeah, okay. That's your get out of jail free card, isn't it?
Using rank?
No, of falling to your doom in a mine shaft.
I
Oh,
quickly reach around, grab the harpoon gun, and shoot it towards where I'm falling from.
Deadpool, no.
Let's see.
I haven't watched the
Oh,
third
and
one
6
yet.
med kits. Ooh, there
I
are
enjoyed it.
6 med kits available. Who's getting what? I don't know how many you guys already have amongst your group.
You guys are basically already carrying a ton of shit, huh?
Yeah,
Because
and medkits are not gonna help with Warren or
I'll carry
right.
I'll carry the med kits.
Yeah, my people are basically at limit.
I'll carry the med kits.
How many med kits do you already have?
Well, we all have one of them in our bag, in our
Yeah.
grain pack.
Yeah.
We all have IFACs, but you'll have to drop med kits on my sheet so we can.
Okay. That's the personal med kit that I need
Yeah.
to move, right? Okay.
Correct.
1. Actually, if I give you 1, you can change the number, can't you?
Or I can just change the quantity.
That's what I meant. You can change that to 6. It's in your inactive at the moment. You know, right next to your stash of nap relief.
I assume I can get my Mark 35 replaced.
What's the Mark 35? Oh, that's your
The pressure suit.
Yeah. You have one already, right?
Yeah, but it was fucked up and duct taped together.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously have new ones.
Yeah, you have all new stuff, or if not new, refurbished. Mother
Yeah,
also.
because my old one had a chest shot through it, and his had claw marks through his.
And
Well,
probably some
acid splashes.
Yeah, exactly. Mother recommends that you guys swap out your U1 grenade launchers for the ID-23 underslung incinerator units. I don't have a reason listed in my notes for some reason as to why that's recommended, but it is recommended.
Because explosives in a mine shaft could cause a cave-in, probably.
That actually would fucking totally make sense. I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you kind of cut off one whole way of going anywhere as if that would be the case if it doesn't just chain and react the whole area.
Yeah, if it doesn't collapse everything. I believe I need to actually drop those on you guys, though. Am I right?
Yeah.
So is anybody taking them, or are we all just gonna go YOLO?
I will take one.
Which
yeah,
one
I guess
is that?
someone has to take one too.
Who is that? Wescott or is that Wojnicki?
Wescott. And Volniski does not need it.
Because he probably already has one. No, he has the smart gun. So
He
Well,
has.
he has
his own.
He actually has an incinerator.
did that actually hit your?
It's
Yep, there it
named
is.
and everything.
I'm sorry.
It's named and everything.
And then Warren is taking one.
Yeah, Warren's gonna take one.
All right. Warren gets more shit thrown on him. And what about Wright? And is Pike taking one?
Oh, sorry, I did not mean to click that.
Pike is going to stay explosive.
Okay. What about Wright?
Wright has a rocket launcher, which she might not want to have.
Okay. Makes sense.
You know
me.
what?
I like the idea that we're at the lockers and Wright is like looking into the weapons locker at her rocket, and Pike walks up next to her and takes his RPG off the rack and walks away with it.
Yeah.
All right.
As if
All
to
right.
say, I'm bringing mine. Are you gonna man up and take yours? Or are you gonna be a bitch and take the incinerator?
That's a good point. Rocket launcher it is.
Okay. You still have the option actually of taking the underbarrel because it basically affixes to the underside of your pulse rifle instead of the grenade launcher. So if you want it, I can give it to you.
Not everybody has
No,
pulse rifles.
Wright has a pulse rifle
yeah, Ray
okay.
has a pulse wiper.
as well as the rocket
And
launcher.
there's no weight to the underbarrel incinerator.
No, it
Yeah,
just
because it gets attached.
replaces.
Yeah, it replaces your grenade launcher that is
Yeah,
on
okay.
the underslung. So basically, instead of being able to shoot grenade launchers, you shoot jets of flame. Are you taking one?
Yeah, I'm gonna take one.
Okay. All right. What else is in here?
Is there anything else that we're granted per the mission?
You have your APC, and now
Mhm.
it is up to you as to whether or not you want to take any other additional equipment. And I believe there was something mentioned previously about thievery and
Oh,
Wescott.
yeah. Wescott. I pull Wescott aside. Well,
Yeah. I would
by all means.
request pups for scouting because in damaged tunnels, a pup can get
Yeah,
to a
that
whole bunch
makes-
of places a person cannot.
That
And
makes
that's my
perfect sense.
justification.
Um,
And I now have the certificate of training to show I know exactly how to use them.
I'm
pups mapping device.
qualified.
Yes.
Pups have been added to Wescott.
I do
Cool.
need you to add 5 more med kits. There's no quantity for them.
I was wondering about that because I saw that button or that thing didn't actually pop up, but it's fine. 1, 2,
And
3.
since we know this is the
Ooh.
inevitable result of things, if she's approved to bring the pups, they're probably going in my backpack.
Oh,
I
and they
already
actually fit.
I already gave them.
I
the-
shuffled my stuff around a smidgen.
Oh, nice.
I took
Yeah.
off my explosive grenades.
Anything else?
The ones we had so many of.
Yeah. Anything
We're not
else?
going to discuss how many grenades I just took off my sheet and put it in my locker.
I think I've
I
got
think
like
Pike,
4.
Pike walks by with the rocket launcher, and all he hears is clunk, 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 clunk as she's moving grenades off her kit and into the fucking box.
I think
I like how
Warren is, like, one
Rodan's
of the
is
only
just sitting
ones
there
who-
like, no, he's not talking about me, not at all. I believe Pike and Wescott were about to have a conversation unless there was something else.
I'm missing a med kit.
I missed one?
I need one more.
2, 3, 4.
I
guess I
think
did.
while Wescott is like stacking grenades in her locker, Pike will stop like right next to her and like start fussing with like his compression suit or something, so he's standing right next to her. I need you to steal all of our camera footage and after action reports, and I need them for the mission.
I say nothing. I just give a head nod, and I finish what I was doing.
Just to be clear, so I know what you're looking for. You literally want all of the camera footage. We're talking like gigs, possibly terabytes worth of data.
No,
And-
it's super low res. We've seen aliens.
Yeah. But I'm sure even back then, because of the lack of data compression techniques, it's probably terabytes worth of shit.
I mean, terabytes didn't exist.
Okay,
back
maybe
then.
a terabyte. I mean, but we're talking
like a
about
cassette
multiple
tape.
cameras covering the same several hours. Like one mission, you guys were basically in a firefight for like 12 hours. Or
Oh, yeah.
something like that.
So, I know better than to just break this out and do this task with my own kit. So, I need to go acquire some things.
Actually, no. I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was in the middle of trying to tell my kid something really fast. I heard in the middle of acquiring something dark.
Yeah,
side.
I'm not gonna do this with my own kit.
Ah,
so,
yes, because that would probably have your digital name tag on it somewhere.
Yeah, I need to illicitly acquire a computer terminal.
Okay. What would you like? How would you like to do that? And
I mean, I've been on this ship long enough that I know, like, is there any place? Okay, you know how all the movies cliche have you go to the phone booth in the middle of fucking nowhere to do shit?
yeah,
I want to find the computer terminal and the maintenance shafts that I know no one's going to be at because I've been on the ship long enough to understand basic stuff like that. Because I need a, I just need a place in the maintenance tunnels with a connection so I
yeah.
can sit up in like a side corner with I'm going to misappropriate a computer terminal from somewhere and
Can you
make use
roll
of it.
me a?
I'm purposely trying to do things that are not intended because I'm not that sneaky.
Yeah.
I just know better than to use my own shit, so I'm gonna go steal something temporarily and then go use it in a place where I'm not expected to be.
I want a mobility test. I think because you're trying to be Snoopy, it's a -2, but because you know the ship, it's countered by a +2. So just use your mobility as is.
Yeah, that's my base agility then.
Yeah.
Mobility is the stealth skill.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
to look because I was like, I'm pretty sure stealth itself does not specifically exist.
Well, you know what? I would like to roll command because I told her to do this.
And if you succeed, does that give her a bonus?
Every success gives her another die.
There you go. I had a feeling that was your angle. So yeah, go ahead and give her that command. And are you going to push that? Of course you're going to push. Oh my god. Really? No successes on that push. That's
Get one bonus die.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I want to try to buy a talent first. I have the XP.
Okay.
Isn't there a sneaky talent or stealthy talent
And
or something like that? Yeah, cool. I learned it from him. So I pay the 5 XP. Can you throw that on my sheet, please?
Yeah, what's the name of it?
Stealthy.
Stealthy?
I knew I was saving some XP for a reason.
Yeah. Well, every week you're like, I don't know if I want to spend that just yet.
I always try to save 5 for things like this.
Yeah. All right, you have stealthy.
Okay.
So that
That'll
should
give you
give,
two
I
more
believe that
dice.
gives you +2, if I'm not mistaken.
So that should be included now automatically because the talent bakes it in.
Should.
So when I click on this, that's
Seems-
wrong.
That is
That's
wrong.
very, very wrong. Let me try to fix that.
Let me double check I put it on the right character. I feel like it did.
Oh,
'cause you
it's
also-
not. It's not going to add it flat to your mobility because mobility is also used for other things.
Okay, so okay, I need to.
You
That's
probably have
still
to
wrong
was it-
because I have 3 agility, not 2.
Are you encumbered?
No.
It's because you're wearing the compression suit.
Oh.
If you're going to do this before we finish gearing up, you should take the suit off. Also, it'll make it really obvious that somebody's rolling around the ship in a compression suit.
Especially when nobody else is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I didn't know that the compression suit did that. So, so I clicky here.
And I believe if you what is it, right click on the skill and then it'll give you the configure.
And then
or
I
something
get
like
1 from command and 2 bonus die from stealthy, so 3. So this should be rolling 6 dice.
that? Right. That is 6 dice. Wow. I'm
You
going to
should
assume you're going to push that. And that
There it
is a
is.
success. So you manage, like, there's probably a moment where there's somebody, you make eye contact with somebody a little bit longer than you would normally make eye contact with somebody, and they just smile and keep on going. Nobody says anything. You have acquired the things and the location. Now we need the actual thing to do, which is the getting the information. Which I'm
Yeah, that's
sure you know.
Comtech.
I was gonna say, you know that's Comtech. Now, here's my question. I'm assuming you have gathered all of the tools that you wanted to use to replicate using your actual Comtech tools and all the inherent bonuses, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I would have gathered extras, stuff that would have been on maintenance that only needed me to fix a thingy or bit.
Yeah.
I would have taken the. Okay, look, I've had 2 people who've been seconded out to the quartermaster, and I've been delivering them there often enough that I kind of know where the shit that only is sort of broken closet is.
So what I'm hearing is you've actually established your own little mafioso crew.
Look, I'm making use out of the information I gained from running my boots around, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm very carefully not asking anybody for any of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
'Cause
doing
that
this
would,
all on my own, and I'm going to be returning it a whole bunch of junk to different places in the mix of miscellaneous stuff.
yeah, because that would not only implicate other people, but that would also imply that you're doing something, not exactly above board.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go
Cool.
ahead and give me
Do
the.
I get any modifiers to this beyond just my basic equipment
It'll
changes?
it'll be just your standard roll.
So I think that should be 5, 4 plus 3.
That is 2 successes.
Let me
that
double
should-
check to see what stunts do for this.
I mean, on the
So-
one success, you got everything that you were looking for. So
Yeah, see, the second success, you can hide your tracks and nobody ever knows.
yes, that's a good idea.
I'm debating if I want to push it because having it done quickly would also be helpful. This is one of those
but
instances.
there's also the chance of getting that stress die that you really don't need right now. It's not much stress
I think
die.
it's worth it in this instance because of what the ask is.
Okay. That's 2 additional successes.
Cool. So first,
You could. Oh, you've got some great options. You can hide, do it quickly, and get free info.
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do.
Hell yeah! See, we're on the same fucking wavelength.
Yes. So yeah, hide, do it quickly, and get additional information.
Okay. Is there any particular additional information you might want? Is there a question you want to ask that you have that maybe
I want to know who else has been hacking into this information.
into your group's post-mission brief information?
Yes.
General Vaughn's footprints or fingerprints or whatever you want to call it.
Well,
are
she's
all over this.
legitimately in our stuff.
Yes,
I'm
but
checking to see if there's other
but-
people hacking.
Right, but it is notable that General Vaughn is actually logging into and reading our reports instead of just getting a briefing by.
Yes, she
Arnold.
is reviewing your reports, specifically her digital ID tag. Now,
That's actually
that in
really
and of
weird.
itself is not terribly out of line. It is a little unusual, yes. But in your digging, the words deep void come up multiple times, multiple sources, but not much more information comes with it. And once or twice, General Vaughn's digital ID is also associated. Not her looking at, but associated in the, if this was a conspiracy board, these 2 items would be linked together by a piece of string. General Vaughn and Deep Void. And then within moments of you seeing that extra information, it disappears. As if somebody's watching you. But you're able to cover your tracks as far as you know. Locally, nobody knows you're in here.
Yeah. I
And
very
that's not how
carefully-
hacking works, I realize that. But there is somebody extra networky.
It's a narrative system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's pretty close.
Hack the
that's good
world.
enough.
As far as what you're doing here on the Tamatam, nobody will ever know that you were here. Because you have cleared your digital footprint history, you've cleared your logs, you've cleared your cookies.
Just so we're clear, once I get in there and see that General Vaughn username is on there, I'm spoofing her username. So it looks like she just logged on there again.
Perfect. Yeah, that will erase 98.9% of any questionable.
Like, I can't erase my presence completely, but I can spoof it to be hers.
Yeah, it'll look like she logged in. What would otherwise be an unreasonable time frame because you're not at Tithonus. But who knows? Maybe she gets around because she does have her own traveling entourage. But it should be noted that Deep Void and General Vaughn, an excessive what appears to be like there's no clear log of she looked at this file at this time, this file
Do
at
I
this
see
time.
any comments from on top of our logs after we submitted them?
Are you talking about like
the
margin
reports.
comments and things like that?
Well, the thing is, the reports don't just immediately just go to her. There's at least one layer of people between us.
There's a couple layers.
So I scrape all of that information too. It's not just our reports. I scrape all the
you
additional
get,
stuff that went along with it.
There's a fair amount of information being passed alongside your mission briefs that usually support or corroborate your guys' own reports of events.
Mhm. Do I also take any of the Science Boy reports based on the stuff that we've returned?
Say that one more time.
The science department's briefing, or reports on the alien smidgens and bits and bobs and eggs and giant entire freaking bodies that we've been providing to
There,
them.
you do
Are
get
they
another.
combined?
You
Are
do
they
get
combined with
another
our
piece of
reports?
information. A report that was filed when you guys went to the place that had been nuked, and you had a doctor with you. I believe you had. Yeah, you had the one friendly doctor with you because the idea is you were supposed to go down there and collect samples or something.
Yeah, we
He
kept
had,
him alive.
oh, Nabak or something,
Yeah,
Babak or
Nabak.
something like that. Yeah, he also submitted a report that didn't quite follow the same chain of not custody but not command, the network path or whatever. But you do happen to pick it up because it was still sitting in the buffer for some reason, and it does say that. Let me think about how I want to phrase this. What was your guys' call sign, or it was like Reaper or something like that,
Reaper.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're
right?
Reaper.
Reaper team was notified by local UPP doctors / civilians that the USCMC, or excuse me, the UA had nuked this facility. While this information is accurate, it is my what's the word? It is my understanding and my belief that the team does not believe this information to be true. So, in short, what it's saying is that hello Raiders. Give me just a moment. What he's saying is that if you guys recall, one of the people on the planet said that the UA nuked this site, that it wasn't a nuke set off to destroy it because of outbreak of contagion or whatever the situation was. That information was actually true. The UA nuked that site and then sent you guys in to damage assessment effectively and gather whatever samples you still could. And
go collect stuff.
Yeah, and it was
And Pike
Babak's.
flipped him a giant middle finger.
Yep, and it was Babak's idea or belief that you guys did not believe what you were being told, that the UA had nuked that site. When in truth, they actually did. In fact, it was mostly Pike that was like, no, fuck you. The UA would not have done that. Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, we got raided by a group of like 18 people. The Lollygaggers. Thank you for joining us and welcome. I don't know how much we have left for tonight. Probably about a half hour, maybe 40 minutes of the actual RP, and then we're going to go into our normal end of session experience points awarding and jaw jacking. But please stick around. Hope you enjoy. I am Omar Krieg. I do this on Tuesdays, and on Wednesdays I have a Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader role-playing group that Rodance is a member of. Kane is a first time. This is his first show here on my channel. Kane is the one without a face at the moment. Unfortunately, I don't have sounds either, so if you follow, I'm just going to blanket say thank you. But Kane joined this crew because he absolutely loves this game. And in fact, Kane has kind of served as my assistant GM because I don't remember all the rules ever. And of course, Luke is one of my players in some of the other things that I have done. Some of my projects include various things with BattleTech, Alien RPG, obviously, Warhammer 40k, obviously. I have attempted to run a Pendragon that didn't. It went well for as long as it did run, but various things got in the way of completing it or continuing it. And I've got a bunch of other crazy ideas still stewing about the old brain case. Let's take a quick second, let everybody have a chance to say something. Rodance, you got anything you want to add to the people that just rated us?
Well, hi, welcome. I chronically tease Omar that my Alien RPG character is going to outlive my 40k character, Rogue Trader character.
We'll see how
I'm firmly convinced. Hey,
Stickers.
look, we're on episode 31, man.
Oh yeah,
and she's still alive.
Rogue Trader only
But are
started
we-
like a few months ago though. This game started back in like February or some shit.
Look,
But
I
are
got
we counting
20
the total
something episodes up on
or
it.
sessions
I mean, if you're looking at sessions
versus
versus
days?
days. Now, when you say days, are you talking like days in game, in universe? Because
Days in game. Yeah.
Oh, I
How
mean,
long?
in game,
Oh.
the Rogue Trader people have already been in game longer because warp travel takes forever.
No, you guys have only.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I've been keeping track. I actually have a ship's log for the Acheron's Ferry, and you guys are only at about 20-ish days.
But I'm actually talking sessions,
Yeah,
like legitimately.
Yeah.
That's how we'd measure it.
All right, Luke, you got anything you want to throw to these guys?
One of my characters in this game actually had a traumatic death.
Yeah, he did. Holy shit, that was some trauma.
Yeah, half the
Sorry.
time I feel like we should have a mental health warning for
Yeah,
some of
let
these
me.
poor events for our poor characters.
I'm sure some of these
Yep.
people are here and they know exactly what can happen in Alien RPG. But let me pull up
Yeah.
my.
More than one of us have had flirted with the permanent mental trauma table. My character is dealing with one right now.
Yeah, and I apologize if my
Flirting
audio
Omar.
sounds like shit. I'm opening up too many things at once here.
Indeed.
Let me throw this at you. Warning, from this point forward in the campaign, it is safe to say that several disturbing elements may be discussed or portrayed. Some content may be difficult for some to watch. Please be mindful of your limits, and we will endeavor to be mindful of others' limits. We are playing characters in a game. Players and the game mother are separate and distinct from the people they play. It is never our intent to make light of real problems. If you need assistance, we strongly encourage you to find the support and aid you need. We hope you enjoy this experience as we are enjoying the playing of it. That said, I've been meaning to actually start that with like every episode, but I keep forgetting, and I never prep it. I never copy and paste it into my notes. But at any rate, Kane, shit, sorry. If there was anything you wanted to say to the group, what would it be?
Well, welcome to the game. If you want to watch us be absolute buffoons and fuck everything up continuously, you should come back. Keep watching.
Yeah. I definitely second that.
As a party, you see some of these games, people get really cautious or whatever, but I think it's fair to say that the three of us ride our characters fucking hard. It is great.
It is
So
glorious.
come enjoy us do dumb shit.
It's surprising we've only had like one death and one like left.
I've worked so hard to keep us all alive, and I did so good for so long, and then I
In their
killed you.
defense, I have almost, and I've joked about it and said that I've been actively trying to kill their characters. I've only tried with some actual effort.
Yeah, so he gets mad about it, and then we have to remind him he still hasn't killed any of our characters.
Yep.
The only instance of an actual character
Yeah,
death
was actually
was mind controlled friendly fire incident.
Yeah, alien queens apparently are somewhat telepathic.
Join the
Yeah.
hive.
But in any case, I guess if we were getting back on track.
Yeah, this would be a good chance to get back in there. So you do, to recap real quick, because I'm trying to remember where exactly we were. So a couple of big notes as you scoop all this information out of the innards of Mother. General Vaughn, there is a note that there is a connection between General Vaughn and Deep Void. And also, the box report indicating, or, from your perspective, it's probably more of an implication that the UA did indeed nuke. I forget the name of that site, but you guys remember the mission. It was the one where you first encountered the white aliens. And all the white aliens had all the radiation burns on them. That almost sounds racist when I say it like that, but I couldn't think of what they were actually called.
They're neomorphs.
Neomorphs, thank you. Not xenomorphs, neomorphs. But yeah.
They're goo morphs.
They're definitely morphs. But yeah, so that was what you get in addition to all the other stuff. Being able to cover your tracks.
That was back at like session 10, 11, 12.
Yeah,
and
that was
let me tell you, session 11, I literally just have a note in here stating fighting Joes, a walking war crimes.
Yeah, because they weren't legal. The UPP had agreed to not having those active, and you found a warehouse full of them, or something close
Yeah.
to it.
Didn't Pike war crime on some UPP officer?
Fuck yeah, he did.
He
It's
was,
like,
Yeah.
so
Do you
you're
know
Colonel
how many
so-and-so,
times
yes?
we've done that?
Yes, I am Colonel
this is-
so-and-so. Murder.
Hey, he was trying to hide among the regulars, so I killed an
God, that's
enemy
right, I think he
infiltrator.
was. Well, he wasn't necessarily hiding, as he had been just grouped with them, as they were all like, "We please get us out of this nuclear rain." And you were like, and one of the
Pike put
people
on
were
his
like,
after-action.
one of the people was like, "That's Colonel so and so, and I don't know if he's a good guy." And then the colonel was like, "Yes, I am Colonel so and so." And you're like, "Not anymore. You're not dead."
Hey,
And
we
to be
survived
fair-
crash landing with three 50-gallon drums of QTC too.
Now,
Yeah.
I will
Oh
be,
yeah.
for the benefit of the audience, not only did I go walk up to the man and confirm he was a colonel and kill him, but in front of the other people, with all my weapons, I beat him to death with my bare hands.
Yeah. All right. You have acquired the information that your team leader sent you out to get. What is next?
Cool. I go back to the office to do some paperwork, like the good little peon that I am.
Paperwork, because that's code for that's when Pike is coming back to meet you, right?
Look, I mean, that is one of the places where we have an expectation of relative privacy.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
In
true.
the
I make
closet.
sure my new boots got their junk together.
Mm.
Yeah, I make sure they have all their shit together, tied up, nailed down, whatever else it needs to be.
Okay.
And then I go do some paperwork before we worry about mission stuff.
All right.
I will go find her, and because Pike is trying to be subtle, he'll just look and say, "Do you have any more gear you need for me to put in my bag?" And holds a hand out.
Yeah, you have.
Uh,
Imagine you have something close to like a thumb drive, or
I hand
you
him
have some sort of data device.
I hand him 2 electroshock grenades and a thumb drive.
Okay.
All right. Is there
Here,
anything
you're,
else? But
yeah, I mean, otherwise, I think we're just gearing.
I wrote a notes document at the top level of the said folder, so I go back to babysitting my boots.
while you're in the hangar deck and the APC is being loaded up with all your gear and bags and whatnot, and the Saturday the 14th is being prepped, Eckhart comes over to you, Pike, says, "Hey, can I talk to you for a quick second?"
Sure thing, LT.
And once you guys are fairly sequestered into, lack of many eyes and hopefully no ears, she will quietly mention, "I forgot to tell you earlier. You seemed like you had a lot of things you. I only had that one thing that I really wanted to bring up then, but I forgot to mention. Once we got onto the surface of Tithonus during that last bit of downtime, and all the way up until I checked into the hotel that stayed at and got drunk at, and then you showed up, I'm pretty sure I was being like, and I don't say pretty sure like, uh-oh, Rodan's dipped."
Oh,
Oh yeah, she's hard out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I imagine she'll be back, and I'll have to play with the Zoom camera. Yeah, she says, and when I say I'm pretty sure, I mean like no shit, I'm pretty sure I was being followed. I didn't get a good look at them, but there's a difference between thinking I was and seeing somebody.
If you say it, I trust it. I'm not going to question it.
I wish I'd gotten a chance to get a good look at him, and then, yep, here I go. Now I got to play with cameras. You good over there, Ro? Oh, she doesn't have her headset. Oh, now do we have 2 Rodances?
we do have 2 Rodances.
I don't know
was
what
in
to
the
do.
I was in the process of joining on my phone.
Oh my god, there's an echo of him now.
There's 2 Rodances.
There we go. Okay. All right. There
Yeah,
we go.
it was my internet having a blurb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will the real Rodance please stand up?
Hey, I got rid of the clone already. You don't have to worry about it. We're not mentioning to where the clone currently is.
Well, there's questions I don't need the answers to. Rodance, for your benefit, let me summarize really quick. As you guys are loading up in the hangar deck and everything, Eckhart has pulled Pike aside and mentioned to him that she had forgotten to say earlier that while she was on Tithonus, she was being followed by somebody on foot. And that's pretty much where we're at. And then Pike said something along the lines of, like, if you think you were, I believe you, or something like that.
Yeah, she was trying to be like, I think so. Like, I wish I saw more and whatever. Like, she was trying to justify it. And he was like, if you say it, I believe it. I trust you.
And then she says, all right, well, listen, did you get that stuff that you wanted me to do something with, or was that something I was going to do after? I forget. I just got done having a conversation with the colonel, and it was not a fun experience.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of how the rules are different between my program and everywhere else.
That's not important.
Anyways, I figured in order to make sure you don't have more uncomfortable conversations with the colonel that I would take care of that on the drop.
All right, so I'm just going, and she says this part a little bit louder because somebody starts like orbiting a little bit closer. She's like, oh, okay, so I'm just going to be checking in with the Hela and flying in support, but every time I come down to the planet, or excuse me, to the moon, I'll be rating you guys and seeing if you need anything before I do anything else. If you don't need anything from me, then I'm just going to go grab more people or whatever it is that this Ishigara guy wants us to do.
Yeah, I'm sure Ishikawa's going to have a plan for comms. We'll make sure everything's well coordinated.
All right, good thing. Good shit, Staff Sergeant. All right, yeah, whenever you guys are ready, bring the APC over and we'll get under our way.
We'll get it loaded so we don't waste any of your time, LT.
All right, and then she leans in. Sure, you don't want me to take that?
I'll give it to you on the drop ship.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
I'll give it to you on the drop ship.
Okay. Yep. She just nods. All right, and then pretending like she's not slept with you a handful of times, she just walks back off into the dropship and waits for you to load the APC.
Who's driving the APC?
You know what? You have two choices. I think it would be much better if it was a player character, but if you want, you can grab some random ass private with no name.
Nah. Any of you have driving? Yeah, any of you have piloting?
Yeah, Warren has.
I think we've actually talked about that, where Warren was not quite the designated driver. Ooh. Now I feel like going out for drinks.
So yeah, Warren, I'll have Warren, you're driving.
All right.
Warren's just like, oh man, I want to go kick doors down and shoot people and stab them again.
I remember how this went down last time. Hopefully this time, the smart gunner gets to be in the turret and not me.
Oh, on the beach? Well, not quite the beach.
Yeah, remember when we were defending that one
The starport.
spaceport?
Yeah.
And then we had an issue.
Oh, yeah.
Called in orbital strikes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We had to take out the dude in power armor.
Oh, yeah.
The coked out elemental?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
that
got
was clearly a battle
grilled
tank
for
reference.
that.
So we'll we load up.
Okay.
I'll like climb up to go into like the flight deck area. To report to the lieutenant that we are on board.
Okay. You get an acknowledgement back, and within a moment, Saturday the 14th touches off, and you get the feeling of flying through space and entering the re-entry process for a no atmosphere moon, which is very smooth.
So I think while we're underway,
yeah.
I mean, Warren doesn't have to be in the driver's seat right now.
No.
I'll walk up to Warren, and I'll just sort of like make a pointed look at how the APC is parked on the dropship, and say, Are you sure you're not too far forward? Why don't you go check with the crew chief? Make sure that we're good and we're not going to cause any problems when we hit ammo.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Staff Sergeant.
I want to point out again that at the surface of the moon, there is no atmosphere. It's only when you're several hundred feet down you start to get
I
the hint
mean,
of atmosphere.
it's called busy work, my
I
friend.
hear you. I hear you. I just wanted to point that out, that between the two of your characters, one of them at least should be giving the it's a vacuum world.
But you know what? I bet that crew chief is used to stupid Marines
Oh
asking
yeah, I
stupid
fucking
questions.
guarantee it.
And it's going to get him out of the flight deck.
Yeah,
So he
it
can
is.
Yep.
deal with this moron Marine.
Yeah, and that's about how that goes. You get a this is the kind of a flight chief that looks like he's got about 28 years in the military. He looks like
So
he's
like no
shaved.
limbs
Like,
left.
huh?
So like no limbs left.
No, he's got all his body parts. What he's also got is what looks like a 5 o'clock shadow, even though you're pretty certain you watched him shave this morning waiting for an open sink. You know what I mean? Like, it's noon. Does this guy have a 5 o'clock shadow already? And it's all gray, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks at you like, Atmo. And then Eckhart just looks at him like, it's not going to hurt to go back there and make sure. And he's just like, all right, ma'am. And you could tell there's a look of like, this is some fucking bullshit, but whatever. At least I'm doing something besides sitting up here for the next 30 minutes while this thing floats through dead space. And so he takes you back to the vehicle and gives you like a 10-minute dissertation on how he knows that the vehicle is exactly where it needs to be. And he starts explaining things like center gravity, which if you don't know is the balance point when you
Of
load
a dropship, yeah.
Yeah. And he starts
while
explaining
he's-
all of that. Pike, you
So
now have
while
an
he's
opportunity to
doing
go
that-
up onto the flight deck.
Yeah, I'm going to go up onto
You
the
have
flight
some
deck.
time.
Thank you, Airload Planner class, by the way, for teaching me center gravity.
So I'll walk, and they all walk up onto the flight deck and like go stand behind her pilot seat.
Yeah, she's there. She's obviously got most of her attention on various gauges and controls and switches and stuff. And she's like, all right, you're up here for a reason. What do you want?
Well, I want a lot of things, but this is all
Yeah,
I've
that's
got time
not going to
for.
happen. This is my domain, and I am the queen here. What do you want?
This is all I've got time for right now. And I like hold the thumb drive out in front so she can grab it, like in front of her.
I feel like in a smart ass fashion, she does like a 40-degree bank right then as she reaches for the thumb drive out of your hand. And as she puts her hand back on the stick, she writes the craft. And she's just smirking as she knows that she just disrupted like everything on the dropship, including the flight chief is like, God damn it, she's showing off again. Gotta tell that girl to stop that shit.
Well, ma'am, as always, while I'm on your dropship, you remind me you are God.
Oh my God, I want to picture that she could see a reflection of you in the cockpit glass, but it's like really whimsical reflection, right? Because it doesn't really resolve very well. And she just she doesn't flip you off, she flips off your reflection, and she says, "Get the fuck out of here."
I ma'am. He'll turn and leave.
Yeah, so she's getting a thumb drive with my explained notes on as a top
I
level
was gonna
document.
ask if there was anything in addition to all of that. All right, so you have some commentary added to all the.
I mean, I was sitting there digging and collecting enough information. I might as well have added some. So there's definitely me putting notes adding in there.
There is the typed file version of a red circle with question marks all around the two words "deep void."
Yes.
The fuck is this? Why have I heard this before? Okay. Yep. So
I think other than that moment with Eckhart, Pike has been in a worse mood than normal.
Good.
So
good.
And it's
An angry
and it's,
Pike is a deadly Pike.
Yeah. There's obviously something bothering him that he's pissed about and hasn't told anybody about.
So I would actually try to meet with him on the side and ask him about that code phrase.
Which one? Devoid?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys have... Okay, so you and Pike specifically have your own, let's call it leaders chat on your radios.
We have
You
our own
also,
channel.
and then Pike, you would also have your own connection to Eckhart, although that would also include the crew chief, because, you know,
Yeah, it's shipped
as
to
well
me.
as a command net for reaching up to the Tamatam if you have a solid connection, which shortly after you guys arrive on the moon, you won't. Because the Tamatam, again, is going away to the front, according to what Colonel Arnold said. And then, of course, you obviously have your platoon channel network amongst all the members. So if you want to have either a private commed communication or an open net communication with your squad, you know, that option is available to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point we've talked enough, especially after the promotions, that you know that you could basically like gang sign that you're gonna talk on the other channel, so I know you're not talking on
You
platoon.
say gang signed?
Yeah. So yeah, it's you and I have our own channel, so we can talk with the helmets on.
Yep.
Because we're in like the fully encapsulated compression suits, so
Yeah. And inside, well, no, you're on the flight deck, so don't listen to me. Go ahead. Go ahead. This will be the last scene for tonight.
I mean, there's ways to talk with that, but it's very difficult to do. I mean, not on the radios.
Yeah, like faceplate to faceplate in a vacuum.
Yeah, because vibrations, sounds are a vibration and they will travel, but it's not easy to hear through that.
Yeah, it would sound very muffled, I would imagine. Anyway, whatever conversation you guys want to have, please entertain us.
I would just summarize quickly what I found, because I'm assuming he would not have had the chance to see all the data.
you talk about the General Vaughn bit and the Bayback's memorandum.
And
Yeah, the rest of the
code
data
phrase.
would be familiar enough to be like, yeah, that sounds about right to what I remember happening.
And I've also note the fact that General Vaughn actively was all over everything, like looking in it in a very unexpected kind of way.
Pike is not he's not the center of self-control. I like you get part way through. I think the part where you talk about when you mentioned Bayback's memorandum, he yells fuck. He just like punches the side of the APC. So everyone just out of nowhere watches him punch the APC.
Somewhere there's a dead UPP colonel going, vindication!
I fake looking very contrite,
Yeah,
like I just offended Pike by accident.
You good though?
Because I'm trying to make it look like I did something versus just that, because everybody can see this happening.
Yeah. It's good that you've got a minion that backs you play. Oh, he punched the wall. Clearly I did something wrong. I'm sorry, Pike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do that. I'm sorry, Pike. I'm sorry, like, body language.
Yeah.
He takes a moment to try to chill. And then he's just like, he flips back to platoon. So, because we're all talking in helmets, and says, just get the fuck out of my face. And then swaps back.
So meanwhile, Warren, not Woznicki, but whatever his name is, and Wright, you guys are all sitting there going, what the fuck just happened? Wescott's like, I don't know, I'm sorry, my bad. And then you hear Pike be like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah. I'm covering for him.
So, Wright, Woznicki, whatever his friggin' name is that I'm never going to say right, and Wright, what are you guys doing real quick?
So
I mean, there's only so many places to go, but go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, Warren's probably just gonna be golden retriever of like, yeah, this checks out. Wright's gonna be like, what the hell? Yeah, like Wright's gonna be like, what the hell's going on over there?
What about our Mr. Piety? What's he doing?
he just looks up, gives them like a solid "I saw that," and goes back to, saying prayers, cleaning his guns.
Saying his prayers as he oils his guns. Clearly, he's not a character from a Warhammer 40k game.
He reminds me of that
Mean.
Key and Peele skit where like the two boxers are talking and one of them's like, "Yeah, I'm totally gonna destroy them.
Oh yeah, I
It's
love
gonna
that
be great."
shit. I love.
And then
Oh
the
my
other
god,
guy's like, just like,
somebody did a.
Oh yeah.
Somebody did a.
God has sent me to destroy this man.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody played that in conjunction with Tyson and Paul, and I
"Oh
was
my
just
god."
like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, Pike swaps back. Like he clips the radio back and he says, "What's your read on the new guys?"
I think that would they actually kind of mostly had their shit together equipment wise. It seems like they know what they're doing with their stuff. It's a matter of how they react under pressure at this point. They've seemed to haven't flipped out yet so far with just the basics that we've done. So I think we have a pretty better than average chance of seeing something decent out of them on this mission.
I'm not talking regular shit. I'm not talking readiness. I mean, it's people.
Mm.
I mean, given what you just told me, shit's getting real complicated.
I think Volsniski is happy to do whatever we tell him, and he's basically a walking loaded gun. And the other one I don't have quite as much of a read on yet.
I'm going to try to get things set up so that Yumi and Warren can have a conversation.
Mm.
I'm not going to bring them in on it until I can trust them.
Yes, Staff Sergeant.
I need a moment to get my blood pressure down.
Words you never thought you'd hear Pike say.
Mm.
Wow,
Hey,
Pike
hey,
really
hey.
is going through some changes right now.
He is not enjoying it either. He's going kicking and screaming.
No, but I
God,
want
yeah.
my blood pressure up.
He's going to enjoy the kicking and screaming the same way my character enjoys the random hysteria, crying, and mopiness.
So it's a little bit like the story of the sparrow and the clam in Chinese folklore.
I am not at all familiar with that. Can you tell it in like 30 seconds or less?
Sparrow is upset because he's changing into a clam soon. And as per Chinese legend, sparrows turn into clams.
Sure.
And he's like, "Well, what am I gonna do when I'm a clam?" And he's like, "Well, the other sparrow's gonna be like, once you're a clam, you do clam things," and that's pretty much the whole story. You just do clam things once
Just
you're a
accept
clam.
the change. Okay. That's I
Yeah,
mean that's the moral
yeah.
I'm getting.
Yeah. You
Okay.
just become what you're gonna become and do the things that you're gonna
Accept
do
it.
when you're there.
Yeah. All right. I think at that point we get the on the platoon, or excuse me, on the dropship channel, we get 5 minutes to touchdown. Get your asses in your seats. Like you'll have a chance to relay. Excuse me, you'll get a chance to relay that. And that is where we will stop for the evening.
Everyone load up on the APC. Warren, you're driving. Wescott,
Yep.
you're on the gun.
I don't want to be on the gun.
I'd just give him this look.
As you go to the gun.
Yeah. I gave him
Alright.
the very deadpan look.
You give him the Colonel Arnold look.
Yes.
I feel like he's definitely got one of those facial expressions that other people would be mimicking, and not because he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk experience. Obviously, each of the 5 characters will get their 1 point of absolutely I was there.
Okay.
Wescott, you will definitely get a risk. Well, no, I take that back because I gotta rethink how this is phrased. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda? This applies to everybody, obviously.
Mhm.
And
No,
I don't
neither of
think
my
anybody.
personal agendas applied.
I don't think this applied to anybody. I don't think anybody gets this one. This was definitely more of a talkie show than it was an action show, so that's okay.
I didn't get the chance to beat any more UPP officers to death.
Yeah, well, maybe next time. Did you risk your life for your buddy? I don't think anybody risked anything except for Westcott going to steal some shit.
I mean, I did a task for my buddy that was very risky to me personally.
Let's hold off on that one. Just because it wasn't quite as we'll just say life threatening. It definitely would have had some changes in
Dude,
your
if I
life.
got caught, I would have been put up on like
It depends on who
what-
catches you, though.
the violation of
Would
like
you have had your security
security
clearance and
clearance
access
and all that other
revoked?
stuff.
Probably. Would your life continue? Probably.
yeah, in like Leavenworth maybe.
I don't know. I mean, with all the stuff that she knows,
Oh.
you can't just arrest her. She has to quietly disappear.
Yeah,
Which probably
yeah.
involves her being killed and dumped somewhere.
Yeah. Somewhere off-site being killed and then transferred to a... All right, fine, whatever. Westcott, take one. God, you guys really twisted my arm in that one.
Yeah.
Did you challenge or stand up to your rival? I have the Tiger experience point right here.
Nah.
I don't think anybody did.
Warren flipped off Winston in the distance.
He walked by
abandoning
Winston's
you.
locker, is like, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy right there. He's dead. He deserved it, motherfucker.
No.
Did you? I don't think we didn't even have a panic roll tonight. What the fuck? I feel like I've failed. No panic rolls?
Hmm.
I get panic rolls even on downtime. But not tonight, huh? Okay. Well, that will definitely change during next session. Did you overcome a dangerous event? No. Did you make a significant discovery or revelation? I will award this one to Wescott and Pike. Pike, you kind of get a little bit of from both your conversation with Eckhart and starting to piece some of this shit together, but also because Westcott backbriefed you on what she found.
I have a question.
I have answers. I don't know if you're going to like them.
When Eckhart is flying, is Eckhart armed?
I imagine at the very least she has a pistol on her. Like, on her flight suit. Or, you know what I mean? Like, well, you know what? Because I imagine you guys are loaded for bear, because you're not entirely sure what you're going into, but it is ostensibly a rescue mission. Which means if she's flying, would she be loaded for bear? The dropship, probably, because I'm sure it's loaded all the time. But would she have, like, her webbing and pistol and all that stuff on her, or would she just be in her flight suit and helmet?
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Because what I would like to do, if you will give me a little leeway here, when I gave her the thumb drive, I want to have also given her my combat knife so she can have a weapon that's not expected to protect herself with. So even if like she is armed right now and she gets off that when she's not flying or whatever and she turns her weapon back in or she puts it up in her armory, she still has the knife in case her follower tries to attack her.
Okay.
A weapon that she's not
sense.
supposed to have.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. We can hand wave that.
And then I'll just combat lost my knife after this mission.
I mean, Mother's never going to catch on. She just runs algorithms. she just everything. Listen, everything is a zero-sum balance for her. Everything balances out eventually. I don't know if that really works in computer language for something as extravagant as Mother. Did you perform an extraordinary action? I don't think we had any of those tonight either.
I mean, you mean
That
not?
hack was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
yeah,
I give credit for that
you know
hack
what?
since
That's
I almost
fair.
never get to do it.
Yeah, no, that actually
I think
is
this is
fair.
all the second time I've hacked anything in the entire time we've played.
And
Well,
it
I
was
think
a
on
pretty giant cybercrime.
it was, yeah, and the fact that you pulled out two juicy bits of knowledge, although one was significantly more so than the other, but of course
Hey,
you don't
I
have.
spent 2 stress on that, okay?
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Go ahead and take that
Oh,
one.
I now qualify for buying mobility. I should write that down.
Nice. And then lastly, everybody gets this one because, of course, you have earned your paycheck. Because as far as I recall, Pike has not given non-judicial punishment to anybody except for Winston in the very, very beginning.
That's true.
Or yeah, no, that was the very beginning because it was like Winston was like, "Nah, fuck these stupid little fish and these stupid little prisoners. I'm out. Fuck you." Walked away because he lost a panic roll.
He seriously lost that role though.
That was really bad. Warren could have died.
Oh, I just remembered. I actually have 2 points in medical aid.
Oh, nice. New, not
That's-
quite medic.
Yeah, that's going to be super important for us.
Does anybody else have any?
Nope.
No. And I haven't succeeded at a role, so I can't.
So I actually have enough. Did I really just get enough experience to buy it? Yeah, I did. I got enough experience now. I could buy another point of that skill if I need it next session.
Sounds like it wouldn't be a bad idea. God, if only.
So
Hopefully,
now, do I want to buy a point of mobility or buy a point of
I think. I mean, this
medical
is
aid and,
this is me. I think you should buy that Medicaid or whatever the frickin' MedTech, whatever it is.
medical aid?
Yeah, just so that Pike can again lose his mind and shoot the next best thing to a medic. Once again.
Now,
He
see, my
already
argument.
tried shooting me and it didn't work.
Well,
Yeah,
it
because
did
you had
work,
second
you
wind.
just didn't die.
Yeah. No, he definitely hit you.
That's shooting me and it didn't work.
Okay, we're splitting hairs here. Let's do some feedback and
No,
outros here.
My argument is that you should take the rank in mobility because you have to buy it at the end of the session that you succeeded in the roll-in.
That's a fair
Oh, I
point,
can't
too.
save it for later?
No.
Oh.
And stealth
Yeah.
is going to be really nice to have the option.
Yeah,
for.
so I am going to do that then. I didn't realize I couldn't like bank it for later.
All right,
So that means I have to.
Invisible Kane. What kind of feedback and other outro-y comments do you have?
Pike, in his little mind, his little tiny, neat, barely existent one-wit's mind,
His little peanut of a brain.
is actually very excited that we're going deep underground where comms don't work.
I don't know what happened to my whole team. I totally did not murder them myself.
Because he's got plans. He needs to have a conversation, like a real sit down, what the fuck conversation with Warren and Wescott,
Mm-hmm.
because he trusts the two of them.
Yeah.
Warren has proven to be exceedingly reliable. Even if he didn't succeed, he has always tried to do he's put himself last consistently. And Pike sees that as way more than it is.
That Galaxy Award hero badge, whatever. It turns out he actually earned that motherfucker.
Yeah, he could have for sure.
I like the idea that at some point you guys are going to go down to like the bottom level, and Pike is going to be like, right, 100 meters, go pull guard that way. Wojnicki, 100 yards that way, go that way and pull guard. All right, the three of you, quietly, let's talk.
I mean, given the nature of the mission, it's going to be so easy to put the other two to busy work somewhere else.
Oh yeah. Go get all those
Because-
dead bodies over there and take them up to the first level.
And we were given no information about the two squads. If they were there because they were like garrisoning or solving an issue or whatever, it should have been really easy to get those records. So those two
Mhm.
squads are doing the same shit we do.
you got that, huh? Arnold trying to play it off with, I'll see if I can get that information and get it to you.
Yeah. So, yeah, Pike is pretty pissed.
Mhm.
He's real pissed about this entire situation, and he's trying to figure out, especially after hearing the Bayback memorandum and all the stuff that Wescott found by committing crimes when asked to.
I have to remember. I remember that scene where I told you, in character, mind you, I straight up was like, "No, the UA nuked us. This was not our shit." And you were like, "That can't be. That is not." This is bullshit. Then you're like, okay, if you really want to go with that. And now I get to flip that motherfucking table around finally.
Yeah, I don't know. Like my notes, like I've got in my notes about Dr. Colonel Balaz,
Mm-hmm.
and it just says dead.
Yeah.
Made the Gribblies outside. Nuked the colony,
Uh-huh.
not the UA. Said it wasn't his call.
Yeah.
Because that's what Pike believes. Although now he has learned otherwise from somebody who, to him,
I'm
is
seeing
reputable.
this show is starting to become at least a significant portion of Pike's worldview is changing. Volume 31.
So we've been talking about Pike's making changes, and Eckhart's been a huge inspiration for him to consider like other parts of his life. I think we're about to hit the arc of what will Pike be like when he is truly enraged.
That's a good question. That's a good question. You got anything else, or shall I move on?
No, I'm just really looking forward to the anger of an enraged Pike and the stupid shit he's about to get up to.
I'm really curious to see how Pike's character arc continues from this point. Luke, my Canopian honeybee. For those that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm not going to explain it because I am amused by the fact that I just called him my Canopian honeybee, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. But there's a very specific reason why that actually makes a lot of sense. At any rate, Mr. Honeybee, if you have what feedback and outro comments do you have?
I don't think that Warren would get this, but there's no reason in any logical sense that they would be sending what is essentially like a spec ops unit into a mine shaft to plug a like a gas leak.
Like to fix a mine. Why are we here?
But he's like, I'm in an APC now, and I'm gonna shoot something. Maybe like there's no resistance, there's no nothing. There's a couple military personnel on there already. There's just no idea. Like it's such a weird concept.
Yeah, I wonder. I think in some parts now
it sounds like a smash and grab, to be honest.
The campaign that I watched prior to playing, like prior to our beginning, they did this mission. I believe it was their second mission. And so in my head, there's a lot of this mission that feels intro level. Not so much as like difficulty or anything like that, but just like meant for early campaign. And here we are. This is mission 5 of 6 before we go to the finale mission. And you guys finally roll this one up. And this all of a sudden, like, especially on top of everything else you guys have done up to this point, you're like,
vacation.
That question actually has a significant amount of weight to it. We have gone to nuclear wastelands to find out what the fuck happened and bring back samples. We have gone to a starport and defended it from a literal invasion. Why are we going into this mine again? You know what I mean? Like, it definitely feels like this is like, yeah, this should have been like mission 1 or 2. Why is this, when we're at level 30, not quite max level?
There's still a point because, like, to me, it sounds like a smash and grab.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And like, why are we smashing and grabbing? And what are we going to blow up today?
Yeah. Well, hopefully not the whole mine.
There
are a number of investors that would be disappointed to lose this mine.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the orders as they stand, but aren't we a tiddly bit overqualified?
Overqualified, overgeared, maybe even overpowered. Well, we'll see about that when you guys start running into, giant 6-armed bears or some shit. I love the look on Luke's face. On West, like, what? Okay, whatever. Luke, you have anything else?
Well, we have hunted indigenous animals before.
Indigenous is a word.
Yep. All right, so no, that's pretty much it for mine.
Okay. All right. Rodance, feedback, outro, comments. What do you got for us?
Yeah, the only skills I don't have any points in at this point is heavy machinery and piloting. I have points in everything else.
And Impressive.
And in some cases, the most points I have in anything is actually close combat with 6.
Which is funny for a comms tech person.
I haven't added a single point to comms tech this entire game.
That's hilarious because I watched you roll. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9-ish dice.
So
Well,
4 in
I just
context.
know. You know what? I just
more- I
noticed
rolled
your
12.
second when you pushed. There's 2 dice missing.
Yeah,
That's because
we rolled
they were the
successes.
successes from the early one.
Oh, that makes sense. Never mind. I thought maybe
Yeah,
there
well,
was a
having
bonus not
5
added correctly.
wits carries all of my wit skills, which includes stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you took that other trait that does that.
You know,
Mhm.
Pike only doesn't have ranks in 2 skills:
Oh, what skills are you missing?
medical aid and comtech.
Shocker. Nerdy
Warren is
shit and how to put a
missing
body back
command.
together after dismembering it. That makes perfect sense that Pike would not know how to do any of that.
Hey,
He
that's
literally
what
said,
we have
I'm
to-
reading a dictionary right now.
Look, that means we're balanced out perfectly. You drive and operate the machinery. I put the people and the bits of computers back together.
And Pike just murder hobos everything.
I mean, with my
And-
support.
Yeah. Alright.
And Warren clutches.
Yeah, Warren comes in with a knife after rolling to see if he's going to make it through the day.
Hey, did we remember to keep him well supplied with his
Cigarettes and such, yeah.
I know this. Pike is carrying a large number of Napa Leaf shots in his
I have-
inventory.
I have.
Oh,
a
you
care
do have the
kit.
care packages. I
I
forgot
have
about
the
that.
care kit,
Yeah.
and I do have the nap relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Mm.
expecting that we're just gonna be walking along, and Pike is just gonna stab Wescott with a nap relief at one of these points.
And then light a cigarette and pass it to Warren. And
Yeah.
just not say shit. He's going to light it, take a drag, and pass it back. So that way Warren is like
Yeah.
compelled to be like, oh, cigarette, thanks.
Yeah. If
Ooh, piece of candy.
you know, if Wescott survives overkilling in combat, I'm pretty sure Pike is just gonna go walk over and stab her with nap relief.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Baby, after he gives you a giant, healthy, arm-breaking high five.
We're making high five. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that is it for us here tonight, my friends. Thank you, everybody that stopped by. Thank you, the lollygaggers. Melazera? I probably butchered that. I apologize. And everybody else that showed up for the raid, everybody that followed, I appreciate it. Love you guys. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the show, please consider liking and subscribing here on Twitch, or if you're in the YouTubes, liking, subscribing, sharing, etc., etc. Also, and most important for me, is in the video description below in the YouTube videos, there is a link for the Discord server. If you type !Discord into the chat right now while the stream is still live, you can get the link there. But yeah, come join us on the Discord and talk shit to us. I mean, with us, as we discover various things about, our community, the games we play, the things we do. What stays in the dark stays in the dark. That's not true. Upcoming stuff tomorrow. Rodance, are you good for more Warhammer 40k stuff? I think maybe. Oh, we're gonna have dinner and then go to the Warp. Are you good for tomorrow night, Rodance?
Yes.
And then later throughout the rest of the week, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. Stick around. You'll know on the Discords. I'll try to put the information out with time for everybody to react. But otherwise, that is it for us here tonight. Stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a crazy dark place, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, we are out of here. Have a good one, my friends. We'll see you next time.